can't go this way. We just can't go this way. Please deliver us today. We just can't go this way. Time to make them oppressors pay. We just can't go this way. So we children could see their way. We just can't go this way. Oh, 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 oh. No, 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 no. The poor have to slave night and day for next to nothing pay, so they can't see their way. We don't enjoy equal facility like Pharaoh and company. Brainwashing we say we free. We just can't go this way. We just can't go this way. Please deliver us today. We just can't go this way. Time to make them oppressors pay. We just can't go this way. So the children could see their way. We just can't go this way. Oh, 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 oh. Suffer like this. You said that you would take care of the poor, just like you did in Egypt. When Pharaoh had the Israelites in bondage, you delivered them. But here again, we are in the same khaki pants. We have those modern Pharaohs who oppress the poor, who represents Israel. They confuse us with so much lies. Just come on this way. Not even thinking that we would realize. And if we criticize, we could be ostracized. We don't know who to trust. That's why I say, Lord, please listen to this prayer that comes from the poor. Another Moses again. Oh, we just can't go this way. Please deliver us today. Time to make them oppressors pay. So the children could see their way. Make them get on their knees and pray.
Get up one morning, your elders have something. You don't know how they get it, but you want to use it. But if you ask them old people to get the things what they went through, ask them this any day, and your parents sure to say, black man have to keep on jamming, for black man to get a little something. Make up your mind, brother, that you're able to get a pulley and jam with the devil. Why? Black man have to keep on jamming, for black man to get a little something. Make up your mind, brother, that you're ready to swim offshore and hold your boat steady. Black man have to keep on jamming, for black man to get a little something. So when you hear you get a little something with that dragon, now you keep watching because I don't tell you already. Black man don't get nothing easy. I say you get up one morning, and oil money running. How it come you don't know, so that it care how the thing go. But if they read about Uriah, they wanna find out the pressure. How we get so much old hell to get a penny from TLL. Black man have to keep on jamming, but black man to get a little something. You got to take up your own cash money, pay people for your own refinery. Black man have to keep on jamming, but black man to get a little something. Make up your mind to be a magician, to make money out of scrap iron. Black man have to keep on jamming, but black man to get a little something. So when you hear you get a little something, with the eagle eye you keep watching because I don't tell you already. Black man don't get nothing easy. Say we get up one morning, independence happening. They think the thing come easy, now they're taking liberty. But if they know about petition, we are to send to England for some woman to tell we in this colony free. Black man have to keep on jamming, but black man to get a little something. You got to go to conference in England to get independence in your own land. Black man have to keep on jamming, but black man to get a little something. People hold you, humiliate you, turn on and sell you, and then they free you. Black man have to keep on jamming, but black man to get a little something. So when you hear you get a little something with that dragon, now you keep watching because I don't tell you already. Black man don't get nothing easy. So when a black man gets something, he got to start thinking. You get it there easy. You got to practice economy. From getting licked from the slave master to become the land owner. Brother, it's a terrible journey, packed with plenty brutality. Black man have to keep on jamming, but black man to get a little something. You got to rise up, you got to stand up. Make up your mind, you will always stay on top. Black man have to keep on jamming, but black man to get a little something. You got to go to conference in England to get independence in your own land. Black man have to keep on jamming, but black man to get a little something. You got to take up your own cash money, pay people for your own refinery. Black man have to keep on jamming, but black man to get a little something. Make up your mind to be a magician.
Apple of thine eye, hide me under the shadow of thy wing, O Lord, my Savior. It's so hard to deal with personal struggle. It's so sad when you feel alone in your trouble. It's real hard when you want to talk to a brother. It's so bad because of how some look at you after. So Jesus, come and be while you fix it. Come and be while you fix it. Come and be while you fix it. Jesus, come and be. Come and be while you fix it. Come and be while you fix it. Come and be while you fix it. Jesus, come and be. Cover my head. Satan want me dead. Cover my back from human attack. So Jesus, come and be while you fix it. Come and be while you fix it, Jesus. Come and be while you fix it, Jesus. Come and be. People see you smile, but don't know the hurt that you're feeling. Even as God's child, at times your heart does be bleeding. Where can you go when you're really looking for healing? your soul needs some restoring. So Jesus, cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me. Cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me. Cover me home from evils unknown. Cover my feet so I'll never retreat. Oh Lord, cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me. Cover my brother, cover my sister, them who under pressure. Cover every church worker, the young believer. Cover the worship leader and intercessor, every gospel minister. Cover. Jesus alone is the one who has the real answer. The one on the throne is the true and loving Father. He will hold your hand and keep you from going under. He will make you stand and let you know he's a fixer. Cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me. Cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me. Cover me mind. You know the struggle sometimes. Cover me mouth, that the wrong thing wouldn't come out. Oh Lord, cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me. Cover the Christian in the midst of aggression with the power of your right hand. Jesus, cover them helpless children. Jesus, defend them. Send help from heaven. Jesus, cover all them radio stations that blessing the nation. Grant divine protection. Jesus, cover me. Cover me.
Go placidly amid the noise and haste, and remember what peace there may be in silence. As far as possible without surrender, be on good terms with all persons. Speak your truth quietly and clearly, and listen to others, even the dull and ignorant. They too have their story. Avoid loud and aggressive persons. They are vexations to the spirit. If you compare yourself with others, you may become vain and bitter, for always there will be greater and lesser persons than yourself.
You are a child of the universe, no less than the trees and the stars. You have a right to be here, and whether or not it is clear to you, no doubt the universe is unfolding as it should.
Enjoy your achievements as well as your plans. Keep interested in your own career. However humble, it is a real possession in the changing fortunes of time. Exercise caution in your business affairs, for the world is full of trickery. But let this not blind you to what virtue there is. Many persons strive for high ideals, and everywhere life is full of heroism. Be yourself. Especially do not feign affection. Neither be cynical about love, for in the face of all aridity and disenchantment, it is as perennial as the grass. Take kindly the counsel of the years, gracefully surrendering the things of youth. Nurture strength of spirit to shield you in sudden misfortune, but do not distress yourself with imaginings. Many fears are born of fatigue and loneliness, beyond a wholesome discipline. Be gentle with yourself.
You are a
child of the universe. No less than the trees and the stars. You have a right to be here. And whether or not it is clear to you, no doubt the universe is unfolding as it should. Therefore, be at peace with God, whatever you conceive Him to be, and whatever your labors and aspirations in the noisy confusion of life. Keep peace with your soul, with all its sham, drudgery, and broken dreams. It is still a beautiful world. Be careful. Strive to be happy.
You are a child of the universe, no less than the trees and the stars. You have a right to be here. You are a child of the universe, no less than the trees and the stars. You have a right to be here. You are a child of the universe, no less than the trees and the stars. You have a right to be here. You are a child of the universe, no less than the trees and the stars. You have a right to be here.
Truer words were never spoken. The less you associate with some people, the more your life will improve. Anytime you tolerate mediocrity in others, it increases your mediocrity. An important attribute in successful people is their impatience with negative thinking and negative acting people. As you grow, your associates will change. Some of your friends will not want you to go on. They will want you to stay where they are. Friends that don't help you climb will want you to crawl. Your friends will stretch your vision or choke your dream. Those that don't increase you will eventually decrease you. Consider this. Never receive counsel from unproductive people. Never discuss your problems with someone incapable of contributing to the solution, because those who never succeed themselves are always first to tell you how. Not everyone has a right to speak into your life. You are certain to get the worst of the bargain when you exchange ideas with the wrong person. Don't follow anyone who's not going anywhere. With some people you spend an evening. With others, you invest it. Be careful where you stop to inquire for directions along the road of life. Wise is the person who fortifies his life with the right friendships. If you run with wolves, you will learn how to howl. But if you associate with eagles, you will learn how to soar to great heights. A mirror reflects a man's face, but what he is really like is shown by the kind of friends he chooses. The simple but true fact of life is that you become like those with whom you closely associate, for the good and the bad. Note, be not mistaken. This is applicable to family as well as friends. Yes, do love, appreciate, and be thankful for your family, for they will always be your family, no matter what. Just know that they are human first, and though they are family to you, they may be a friend to someone else and will fit somewhere in the criteria above. In prosperity, our friends know us. In adversity, we know our friends. Never make someone a priority when you are only an option for them. If you are going to achieve excellence in big things, you develop the habit in little matters. Excellence is not an exception. It is a prevailing attitude.
Let me say a special hello to all the WZYE 95.9 FM listeners. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, it's in the village with the DAT Triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM. And of course, we come to you every Tuesday and Thursday from 7 to 10 p.m. That's Tuesday and Thursday from 7 to 10 p.m. And so far, folks, excuse me. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, we always say, doesn't matter what color t-shirt you have on, you wear a purple t-shirt, a burgundy t-shirt, an orange t-shirt. Each and everyone is welcome in the village with the DAT Triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM. Doesn't matter what planet you're from Mazatania, Xenorania, Sonoranius. Each and everyone is welcome in the village with the DAT Triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM. And you know, folks, you know how we start this thing here in the village with the DAT Triplets on WZYE. Oh, excuse me, 95.9 FM. This is how we start the thing right here. Yeah, here we go.
It have our place, WZYE, where they treat you like friends and family. So if you're looking for a place to belong, going WZYE, you could come along. If you have haste, do come with me. We do have DAT on WZYE, Santa Medite.
And of course, that is the one and only, the love doctor, Dr. Rennie Mohammed, who always joins us here in the village with the DAT Triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM. So, folks, I'll be flying solo tonight until Diana joins us. And then at the 8 o'clock hour, we should have Dr. Shane Mohammed joining us here on In the Village with the DAT Triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM. Let me go into the chat. Okay. Our first in the chat tonight was, yes, no other than Takesha. Takesha, welcome. She says, good night, everyone. She says, good night to Ansam. Good night to the Storm. Good night to Tommy. Yeah, Tommy wouldn't be joining us tonight, but we want to say to Tommy, you know, you are one of us, and we can't wait for you to return here back to In the Village with the DAT Triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM. So Takesha says, Nadia, Carice, Lana, Rose, Miss Coover, Judy, Denise, Erica, John, Victoria, good night. Yeah, Takesha like to separate her males from her females. Albert, Vonnie, Ulrich, Ken, Rajvi, Heidi, Ellis, Rennie, Richard, Anderson. Yeah, I ain't seen Anderson in a little bit. I wonder if Akira take away his phone. You know, these things just happen sometimes. Takesha says, only love in the village, no room for hate or negativity, just love, full 100. Takesha, cover us while we fix it. Yeah, we want to fix Trinidad and Tobago. Full 100. Bizram, boy, out in Sandy Grande. Bizram, welcome. Bizram is the man with all the jokes, boy. Margaret, welcome. Margaret say good night, everyone. Margaret say, oh no, don't tell me you got that tickle cough. Yeah, boy, I see my wife kind of coughing and thing, you know. I wondering, boy. I know what is that, you know. I had to check myself. Anderson, boy. Hey. Anderson, boy, I know saying I can give Anderson your phone. Anderson, get back your phone, boy. Anderson, welcome. Yeah. Wilson Anderson. So, folks, what could we talk about tonight? What could we talk about? You know, Margaret, I see that, you know. Margaret said Dale the voice blocked me on the street 919 FM today. Margaret, why you block you? What you block you for, Margaret? I don't understand why they just allow them guys to block people, you know. I don't understand that. You know, if you're in this arena here, when you're going to the guile, you have to be able to take boah. You have to be able to take it. So I don't get that. I really don't get that. Margaret, why you block you? I want to know, why did he block you? Tell the people why you block you, Margaret. I know, I don't understand that. I really don't get that. But the big story really and truly is with respect to what happened before Christmas, and there was no food cards. That's the big story. Plus, the story, you know, I really don't like to get into the killings in Trinidad and Tobago, I'll be honest with you. I think it's up to 546 now. 546 murders for the year. That will be, I gotta get the statistics so far to see where that's gonna fall in Trinidad and Tobago. So let's talk about this news first. This is the news on NIB as well as the food card. So let's take a listen to this.
All offices of the National Insurance Board will remain closed following a cyber attack on its operations. The NIB revealed the incident in a notice advising that its offices be closed for the rest of the week. The company says it is currently addressing its systems after a ransomware attack. Efforts to confirm the extent of the attack and its effect on customer services were futile. NIB contains all employee information, especially in relation to those who make NIS contributions. It also contains the records of those collecting pension and grants. The company says all steps are being taken to protect its data integrity and technology hardware. However, cybersecurity expert Rishi Maharaj told CNC3 News that government needs to enhance legislation on cyber crimes and data protection.
The government really needs to enhance the legislation on cyber crimes and on data protection. From a cybercrime perspective, they need to really enhance the law, because the law we have right now is very old and doesn't take into consideration the new types of attacks we have.
Some families depending on government's food card were left disappointed this Christmas as they are still not working. Several members of parliament tell CNC3 News that their constituents were unable to use the cards. Last week, the Ministry of Social Development and Family Services admitted that a technical glitch at the bank had been preventing people from accessing the funds on the cards. Minister Donna Cox was hoping the issue would be resolved in time for Christmas. However, Maruga Tableland MP Michelle Benjamin tells CNC3 News that she only received the 200 food cards last Thursday, but up to Christmas Eve, some families had to be given food hampers as the cards were not working.
And I was pushing myself to make in the vicinity of 500 hampers because I have a list, an ongoing list of persons that I am committed to help on a monthly basis around Christmas that need is greater. But sadly, I had to use my hampers to help with the card for sure. And right now, my hamper drive was kind of cut short. I wasn't able to reach as much persons.
And as the new academic term begins on January 2nd, the Education Ministry is assuring parents and guardians that there will be no issue regarding the transportation of students. School bus drivers operating under the Public Transport Service Corporation had been lobbying for unpaid monies and had threatened to withhold their service until all outstanding sums were settled. The drivers say they have not been paid for the past 4 months. Education Minister Dr. Nan Gadsby-Dolly told CNC3 News that payments are processed through PTSC as invoices are received. She noted that a payment was made for the term and another was sent to the PTSC yesterday. Well, those...
So just imagine, right? Imagine this. You're going to the grocery to pick up some groceries for Christmas. You pack all your ham, you pack your cheese, you pack your bread, you pack everything, right? And you're going up to the cash register, and the people check out all your message, your ting, 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 and you get your food card. And the cashier tell you, all you're trying to is fraud, all you're involved in. No money on this food card, No money on that food card. But the person about the government say, or the Ministry of Social Services says that there's money on the food card. But here is this. Why are they blaming the banks for no money on the food card? I don't understand that. Who is to blame for that? But you know what? Let me try something. I think I have a number here from Michelle Benjamin. Let me try this number here. I don't know how we like to do it. Let me try this number here. Well, you know them, that's 2 numbers and thing. So, folks, we calling Michelle Benjamin. Diana not here to make a bet so she could lose again. All right. That number just saying it's calling, but it's not ringing. Right. Let me try our next number. Let me try another number here. Let me try another number. So, folks, we're trying to call Michelle Benjamin. There we go. Oh, no, no. Oh, MICHELLE. Michelle Benjamin. Okay. That's the number there. Let me try this other one here. No, that's not it. So I thought I had two numbers here, folks. Yeah. Michelle Benjamin. Okay. Okay, I just showed up two numbers, and all of a sudden, it's only one number showing up. Okay, I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna try it. So, folks, we're trying to call since she was part of the story. Um. Okay, I have to try that again. That number ain't working. Let me see if I could try this person. Let me try this guy. Let me try Rushton Parry. Let me try that guy. Okay, his number is ringing. Okay. No answer from him. All right. So, folks, we are trying to reach out to a few of the representatives. The number here is 973-868-1444, 973-868-1444, or 973-609-6509. That's 973-868-1444, or 973-609-6509. Of course, folks, don't forget to subscribe to WZYE TV on YouTube, or subscribe to WZYE 95.9 FM on Facebook. That's WZYE TV on YouTube, or WZYE 95.9 FM on Facebook. Margaret says, I put him in his place because he thought he could have intimidated me. Okay. That is our problem in TNT. Our laws are archaic. Video, welcome. Video joining us from Orange, New Jersey. Margaret says, laugh all out. Miss Danny will have to make a less strenuous bet. Yeah? Captain reach. Captain, you reach. You're inside, Captain. You reach. You reach. You reach. Who's gangsters, Captain? But I don't understand how you could put out food cards for the most poor and vulnerable people in our country, and they end up not getting the food cards because of problems with the money. I don't get that. And folks, at the 8 o'clock hour, we're gonna have political scientist such analyst, Dr. Shane Mohammed, join us. But folks, I had a political banter today on social media with the minister in the Ministry of Finance, Brian Manning, Mr. Brian Manning. And the reason why we had a discussion is because he was fact-checked on a misleading statement that he made. Let me repeat that. He was fact-checked on a misleading statement that he made. So here is the statement, and here is the fact check, and then we're going to discuss. Here we go.
Okay. So that's an easy way to break it down so that people get a clear understanding. So if the annual rental value of your property is $2,000 a month, you would end up paying $54 a month in property tax. That would seem too bad. That would seem too unfair.
Some people got scared when they saw the annual rental value and the valuation form, but that is not what you're going to be paying in taxes. This is one of the lowest property tax rates in the hemisphere, and it was intentionally done that way so that it would not.
Now, folks, I want you all to pay attention to what Minister Brian Manning said about one of the lowest property tax in the hemisphere, not in the Caribbean or in North America, but in the hemisphere. Pay attention. Let's go again.
Monthly.
Okay. So that's an easy way to break it down so that people get a clear understanding. So if the annual rental value of your property is $2,000 a month, you would end up paying $54 a month in property tax. That would seem too bad. That would seem too unfair.
Some people got scared when they saw the annual rental value and the valuation form, but that is not what you're going to be paying in taxes. This is one of the lowest property tax rates in the hemisphere, and it was intentionally done that way so that it would not be onerous to the people of Trinidad and Tobago.
Fact check. Contrary to the notion that Trinidad and Tobago boasts one of the lowest property taxes in the hemisphere, the reality is that its 3% property tax rate on the annual rental value for residential properties positions it somewhere in the middle when compared to the broader hemisphere. For example, in the United States, the property tax rate varies by state, but some states have a lower property tax rate than Trinidad and Tobago. For instance, Hawaii has a property tax rate of 0.27%. Numerous countries worldwide implement property tax rates based on annual rental values that are lower than Trinidad and Tobago's 3%. For instance, several Caribbean nations, including Barbados, Jamaica, Grenada, St. Lucia, Dominica, St. Vincent and Grenadines, Antigua and Barbuda, and St. Kitts and Nevis, impose property taxes based on annual rental values of under 1% or even lower. This contrasts with other nations like Kuwait, Qatar, and Cambodia, which also maintain property tax rates below the 3% mark. Therefore, the statement by Minister in the Ministry of Finance, Brian Manning, is deemed to be inaccurate.
Now, so I put a post on my Facebook page on, my Facebook page. And of course, Brian Manning is a friend of mine on Facebook. So, I don't know. Where them fellas just get their facts from, I don't know, But Mr. Manning sent me, well, he didn't send me. On social media to convince his point that Trinidad have one of the lowest property tax rate in the hemisphere. He sent a post from Business Insiders. Folks, all you see why we're in the condition that we are in Trinidad and Tobago. I'm saying we are. So he sent me a post, or he put a post on social media, right? And when I read the post and I dug into the post, I'm like, this man just proved my point. All right, so here it is, folks. It's in businessinsider.com. And this is his post to convince me that his statement that Trinidad is one of the lowest property tax in the hemisphere is accurate. Now, it is important to note that property tax are based on different values. You have some property tax are based on the market value. Some are based on the tax assessed value. Some are based on the annual rental value. Trinidad is based on the annual rental value. But what's most important to note is that the minister in the Ministry of Finance put an article on social media to try to convince me and other people that Trinidad has one of the lowest property tax on the hemisphere. All right, folks? So here we go. And I'm reading the article that he sent. Let me bring in Diana here.
Hi. Good night. Good night.
Welcome.
Good night.
Yeah. So here it is, folks. This article is dated June 29th, 2023. Average and median property taxes by state. See how much homeowners pay in your area. Now, this is an article sent by the minister in the Ministry of Finance. Let's take this call. KFC, welcome. KFC. Yo, KFC.
Good night, Mr. Washit.
How are you going on? Diana is here with us.
Good night, Miss Diana.
Good night. Good night.
The best long life health and check for 2024.
Yeah, and Diana.
Ditto.
Yeah, thank you very much, man.
More life and health and check, man.
Same to you and the family.
Washit, that Brian man, you know, 3 seconds out.
Oh, God. What do you mean by that, KFC?
Well, you fast check about 3 times, get them for that.
But wait now, boy.
Into the population of Trinidad and Tobago.
KFC, you know you're right, you know. There's the third one, you know. You're right. 3 strikes and you're out, boy.
Okay, what Brian Manning said?
Yeah, hold on. KFC, yeah, we go do that.
Fast check up and see.
Yeah, correct is right. And I go play them KFC as I say that. I go play them. Yeah?
You see that fella daily voice? I know going to see, but the Pope get a good Christmas present, you know.
What is that?
The Pope bless them.
Oh, okay. Okay, they got a little kakada.
Well, they could do the thing now and settle along and live a happy life like everybody else.
Okay. All right. All right.
Well, shoot, I locked on list.
Yeah, man, bless.
Love
Yeah,
and respect.
all the
Yeah,
time.
man.
Yeah. Yeah. So Diana, let me just play it back for you, right? What
The whole
happened?
thing?
No, we're not gonna play the whole thing. Well, let me just tell you what it is.
Right.
There was an interview on CNC3, I believe. The minister in the Ministry of Finance, Brian Manning, told the presenter that Trinidad and Tobago has one of the lowest tax on the hemisphere, lowest property tax on the hemisphere. And when I saw that, I said, but where Brian Manning get that information from, boy? Mr. Brian Manning. So I said, well, let me fact check and see if that is true. So I posted the video. We just do our own video. I posted the video that we played previously. We just played earlier on social media. So, boy, I forget Brian Manning was one of my friends. So he responded to the video and he said, I'm trying to mislead the people. And he posted an article to convince people that Trinidad and Tobago have one of the lowest property tax in the hemisphere.
Okay, did he say one of the lowest or the lowest? Because if you go and you research it now and you see that maybe the third from the bottom, it's one of the lowest. So he might be correct. I don't know.
No. It's not even the lowest in the Caribbean. As a matter of fact, Trinidad and Tobago have one of the highest property tax in the Caribbean based on annual rental value.
Okay.
One of the highest.
And this can be found where?
I mean, you just Google it and you'll find it. Anybody could Google it. It's just like and as a matter of fact, we have a video on that too. We're going to play that video as well. But anyway, let's quickly go to the article that Brian Manning posted on social media. I didn't post this. He posted this to convince people that Trinidad and Tobago have one of the lowest property tax rates on the hemisphere. This is the article. Average and medium property tax by state. See how much homeowners pay in your area. Well, I'm from America, so he wanted to show the people that what are the taxes we pay here in America. Diana Benskin, you know which state pays the highest property tax in the United States of America?
Let me see if I could take a guess.
Yeah, use me as a hint. You use me as
Let me see
use
if
me
I
as
could
a
take a guess.
Take a
New
guess.
Jersey. New Jersey.
You're real good. You're real good.
Oh,
Highest
so
property
you
tax.
pay more taxes than me in Connecticut.
Correct. In the United States of America is New Jersey. And you know what it is? 2.47%. 2.47%. But let me get back to the article. Average and median property tax by state. See how much homeowners pay in your area. Now, people pay property tax based on different assessment. Could be market value, could be the assessed value, could be annual rental value, like how they do in Trinidad and Tobago, right? But what's important to note is that when they did this study in America, everything is based on, all your property tax is based on what's called effective property tax rate. So what the effective property tax rate is simple. If you live in a state, they might assess it based on the tax assessed value. You might live in a state where they assess based on the market value. They all put this together and they come up with an effective property tax rate. So they took all those things into consideration. Right? So let me go down the list. We go start from lowest. I'm not going to go through all of it to highest. This is the minister and the Ministry of Finance evidence to show that Trinidad and Tobago have one of the lowest property tax rates on, I'm saying on the hemisphere. Right? So listen to this. I want to start from the, let me just read what it says at the beginning, right? This is what it says. When you get a mortgage to buy a home, your mortgage lender will include a portion of your property taxes in your monthly mortgage payment. Listen to this. I don't think he read this article, I just think he just went and Googled something quickly and he find this article and he sent it. But little, the little black boy from Chumaka Clavantel does do a little analysis. For the US as a whole, the effective property tax rate is 1.10%. According to insider calculation based on 2021 data from the US Census Bureau. Let me repeat that. For the US as a whole, this is not the US as a half, or the US as a quarter, or the US as 1/8, or the US as 1/3, the US as a whole. This is the whole of the United States of America. Whole. The effective means to say they took everything into consideration. Property tax rate is 1.10%. The median home price in the US is $244,900, and homeowners pay a median of $2,690 each year in property taxes. This means that a homeowner will have around $224.17 added to each of their monthly mortgage payment in order to cover their property tax bill when it comes due. So the way we do it here in this country, you get a mortgage, right? We figure out what the property tax is, and when you get your mortgage bill, it includes your property tax. So that means to say it's a one-stop, one shop.
Amsterdam, Connecticut is third on the list, boy.
The third?
New
Let me go.
Jersey, New Hampshire, Connecticut, New York.
Okay, here it is.
According to where I'm looking.
Yeah. Number 51 is Hawaii. Hawaii pays 0.29%. The effective property tax rate for Hawaii is 0.29%. This is not even 1%, you know. This is not a 0.5%, you know. Less than a 0.5%. 0.29. Hawaii, right? They are number 51. You know, and that fella is in the Ministry of Finance. And this is the information you sent to convince people that Trinidad have one of the lowest property tax rates in the hemisphere. You should have said Trinidad have one of the lowest property tax rates in Trinidad.
Maybe, I don't know. Did he look at what year did he pull where did he get the data from?
No, but this is what I'm, use this as an example. So 50th is Alabama, 0.41%. 49th is Colorado, 0.51%. These are effective property tax rate, people. 0.51%. 48th is Nevada, 0.55%. 47 is South Carolina, 0.56%. Louisiana, 46, 0.56%. Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C., eh? Washington, D.C. I think that's where me and Gene live in.
Leave me and Gene out of this. Leave me and Gene out of this.
0.57%. Utah, boy. 0.58%. Delaware, 0.58%. West Virginia, 0.59%. All I got the picture? Minister in the Ministry of Finance. That is the information you want to hoodwink people and tell people what Trinidad money lowest. But you see that. You didn't think that people we are the fact check experts now for Trinidad and Tobago. But I want to skip some of them. I want to skip Wyoming, 0.61, Arkansas, 40, Arizona, 0.62, Idaho. I want to go to California, Tennessee. And there's a reason why I want to go to California. All you know, Hollywood. All you know, Hollywood in California, right? And that is where them zillionaires live, right?
Keep going.
Gazillionaires live in California. That is where them gazillionaires live. You know what the property tax is? Effective property tax in California is, people? California, you know, 0.75%. 0.75%. Minister in the Ministry of Finance. I don't know, you know. I am wondering if you should resign, you know. I'm wondering, you know. Because I have two other fact check on you again, and we're going to do it before the night done, Mr. Minister. We have two more to come. It seemed that you are very consistent in your behavior of getting your facts incorrect. And you send me this, you know. This is not me, you know. I didn't use this, you know. I used something totally different, but you sent me this. But anyway, let me go down to see what are some of the highest taxes in the United States of America. Let me get to that, Dan.
New York.
Let me get to that. So we're going for the highest now, eh? Let me go to the bottom. We're going to the bottom. So we give already top 3 or 4, top 5 as far as property tax is concerned in the United States of America. You see, they always want to compare yourself to the United States of America. And you compare it and you get it totally wrong. Here it is. Oh God, look who's number 3. Number 1. No, the highest in America. Number 1. Okay. New Jersey. Effective property tax rate, 2.47%. My state, highest property tax rate in the United States of America. Number 2, who's number 2? Not when you're going to the bathroom. Not that number 2. Illinois, 2.23% effective property tax rate. 2. Who's number 3?
Connecticut.
Well, that is where Waveney, McDonald, Donexville, Benskin resides in a palatial 5-bedroom with her penthouse at the
and
top.
my dog. And my dog.
And the dog up in Connecticut. So anytime you see that high property tax, mean to say the property to them are high value. That is what it is. Yes, them paying 2.15% effective property tax rate. Who's number 4? New Hampshire. Them paying 2.09. Number 5. Who's number 5, Diana?
Vermont, 1.90%.
Correct. Who's number 6?
Texas, 1.74.
Who's number 7?
Wisconsin, 173. New York, 173, 1.73.
Let me just do 9 and 10. Yeah?
Nebraska, 1.67, and Iowa, 1.57.
So I'm asking the question. And listen, up to now, the minister have not sent me any statistics to show that Trinidad and Tobago have one of the lowest property tax rate in the hemisphere. Even Caribbean islands, Barbados is like 0.5%. Jamaica, 0.5%. A lot of these Caribbean islands are under 1%.
Where we go find that list? You put in effective?
No, they're based on annual rental value.
Oh, annual rental value, Caribbean.
No, we have it here. Let me get that. Let me get that. We have that. We have that video. You know what? We're gonna go for the break and we'll come back. Let me look for that video quick before we go for the break. Let me see if I can find it real quick. We have that video with respect to the property tax rate in the Caribbean. Hold on, let me see that. Hold on. Here we go. Here it is.
The Caribbean country with the highest percentage of annual rental value of property tax is Trinidad and Tobago.
Go ahead.
The Caribbean country with the highest percentage of annual rental value of property tax is Trinidad and Tobago. The property tax rate in Trinidad and Tobago is 3% of the annual rental value of a property. Here are some of the Caribbean countries that base their property tax on annual rental value. Barbados. The annual rental value of a property is used to calculate the property tax in Barbados. The tax rate is 0.25% of the annual rental value. Dominica. The annual rental value of a property is used to calculate the property tax in Dominica. The tax rate is 0.5% of the annual rental value. Grenada. The annual rental value of a property is used to calculate the property tax in Grenada. The tax rate is 0.5% of the annual rental value. St. Lucia. The annual rental value of a property is used to calculate the property tax in St. Lucia. The tax rate is 0.5% of the annual rental value. St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The annual rental value of a property is used to calculate the property tax in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The tax rate is 0.5%.
You get the picture?
Mm-hmm.
So the picture here is that Trinidad and Tobago with a regressive and oppressive property tax of 3%, and you trying to come and hoodwink the people. What? Sorry. We have people out there who will fact check you and fact check you. Right? And up to now, he have not been able to show the facts that Trinidad and Tobago have one of the lowest property tax on the hemisphere. Let's go for a quick break and we'll be right back. It's In the Village with the DAT Triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM. It's The Storm, Professor Wall Street, and you on WZYE 95.9 FM. Stick and stay. We'll be right back after this.
You're listening to WZYE 95.9 FM. You are listening to WZYE 95.9 FM, the most influential name in Caribbean radio in the tri-state area. Broadcasting from East Orange, New Jersey, the most influential name in Caribbean radio, WZYE 95.9 FM.
Of course, we are back with you. It's In the Village with the DAT Triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM. We come to you every Tuesday, Thursday from 7 to 10 p.m. That's Tuesday and Thursday from 7 to 10 p.m. So Diana, the big question is that the big question is this: why is Brian Manning, let me use a word that I just see here from Margaret, embellishing? Excellent word there, Margaret. Excellent word. Embellishing, right?
Because you believe nobody's gonna fact check.
Yeah. You know, Margaret said, how they work out that rate? You know, Brown always exaggerating when in facts. I mean, exaggerating his facts. You know, all right, Dana, I know we're supposed to have
I sent him the link, so he's coming.
Dr. Mohammed coming up just now. Most trainees do not do research, so they embellish the truth. Diana, me and G say you finished training late.
I ain't paying me. Leave me alone now. I done here by the women fancy.
Margaret is correct. That's how it works in the US. It is added to the mortgage bill. It's simple. This is
But however, if you don't have a mortgage, they go on the whole assessed value of the property.
Yeah, well, if you don't have a mortgage, they're just saying
You still have to pay taxes.
Yeah, you still have to pay the taxes.
Which is what I do.
So let's go back to the past. Let's go back in the past. And let's see. This is not the first time that Brian Manning have embellished the facts. All right, let me look for that folder. He has done this previously, but I just haven't made it into an issue. But it seemed to be a sort of a consistent behavior now. Here we go. Listen to this.
In Latin America and the Caribbean, not just the Caribbean, Latin America and the Caribbean, Trinidad and Tobago is ranked #1 in resilience to climate change. One of my colleagues on the other side earlier said that Trinidad and Tobago was not prepared for climate change. The fact is, we are #1 in the region in resilience to climate change.
Fact check. No. Trinidad and Tobago are not ranked #1 in Latin America and the Caribbean for resilience to climate change. According to the 2023 Climate Change Resilience Index, Trinidad and Tobago is ranked 7th in the region, behind Barbados, Jamaica, Antigua and Barbuda, St. Kitts and Nevis, Dominica, and St. Lucia. The top 10 countries in Latin America and the Caribbean for climate change resilience are 1. Barbados, 2. Jamaica, 3. Antigua and Barbuda, 4. St. Kitts and Nevis, 5. Dominica, 6. St. Lucia, 7. Trinidad and Tobago, 8. Uruguay, 9. Costa Rica and 10. Chile. The climate change resilient.
No. Let's fact check on that, right? There is more, Diana Benskin. There is more. There is more. Just when you thought it was safe to go in the outhouse, there comes some flying cockroaches.
All right, educate me. Listening.
Listen,
Let me go and get some bagel on.
Other facts. Trinidad and Tobago is a high-income country, ranks number 2 in terms of GDP per capita in Latin America and the Caribbean in 2022. We have a thriving economy, energy sector,
Fact check. No. Trinidad and Tobago does not hold the second position in GDP per capita in Latin America and the Caribbean for the year 2022 as stated by Minister Brian Manning. Trinidad and Tobago is ranked 8th in GDP per capita in North America and the Caribbean. GDP per capita is the gross domestic product, GDP, of a country divided by its population. It is a measure of the average economic output per person in a country. GDP per capita is often used as a proxy for standard of living, although it is important to note that it does not take into account income inequality or other factors that can affect quality of life. GDP per capita is calculated by dividing a country's GDP by its population. GDP is the total value of all goods and services produced in a country in a given year. Population is the total number of people living in a country at a given time. For example, if a country has a GDP of $100 billion and a population of 10 million people, then its GDP per capita would be $10,000. This means that the average person in that country produces $10,000 worth of goods and services in a year. GDP per capita can vary widely from country to country. The countries with the highest GDP per capita are typically those that are highly developed and have high levels of productivity. The countries with the lowest GDP per capita are typically those that are developing countries with low levels of productivity. GDP per capita can be a useful tool for comparing the economic performance of different countries. However, it is important to note that it is just one measure of standard of living. Other factors, such as income inequality and access to basic services, are also important to consider. According to Statista.com, the top 10 countries in the region by GDP per capita in 2022 are as follows. 1. Puerto Rico. 2. Bahamas. 3. Uruguay. 4. St. Kitts Nevis. 5. Barbados. 6. Guyana. 7. Antigua and Barbuda. 8. Trinidad and Tobago. 9. Panama. And 10. Chile.
But I hear he sending a pre-protocol letter to somebody in the group. That's what I read. Not hearing your answer. Let me mute it.
Yeah, I hear something about that.
I'm like, what? So, and I remember you played on the last show where a Guyanese person up here who made some comment about what's going on in Guyana. They're threatening him with suing him, and you asked, is that going to happen? Is that coming to Trinidad and Tobago next?
Yeah.
You can't tell them, well, no, you're bamboozling the people. That's not true. So they want to send you a pre-protocol letter to hush you up.
Yeah, but Diana, you know we fact check Imber too.
Oh Lord. Oh Lord, what my friend say?
Folks, what we have in Trinidad and Tobago is a runaway government that's been lying to you. Lying. Here in Bert now. Listen to this one. This is the first time we play this.
What my
On Friday, November 3rd, Jamaica's central bank, or the Bank of Jamaica as it is called, issued a notice to people residing in Jamaica, informing them that the existing arrangement for BOJ to repatriate Trinidad and Tobago banknotes is currently under review. As such, BOJ outlined that there would be a temporary suspension of the exchange of the TT dollar at its banking counters, effective Monday, November 6th, until further notice. The Bank of Jamaica did not explain its reason for reviewing the process for the repatriation of TT currency, resulting in the suspension of TTD exchange. However, Finance Minister Mohammed says, quote, "It's a normal part of currency operations among regional central banks to repatriate each other's notes. They may have collected generally small amounts from court cases, government operations, etc. that may build up over time. The temporary suspension is merely to review this operation." End quote. As it pertains to this specific operation that the BOJ referred to, the minister states, quote, "The Bank of Jamaica is repatriating close to $1 million in TT notes to our central bank. When this happens, CBTT gives them the equivalent in USD. This is just about $150,000 US. BOJ accumulated this amount over a 3-year period." End quote. Imbert says the TT currency exchange by the Bank of Jamaica would resume in due course. Alicia Boucher, TV6 News.
Fact check. No, the suspension of the exchange of Trinidad and Tobago currency by Jamaica's central bank is not a normal part of banking operations. This is a temporary measure that has been taken while the existing arrangements for repatriating Trinidad and Tobago banknotes are being reviewed. The Bank of Jamaica, BOJ, has not given a specific reason for the review, but it is likely that it is related to concerns about the security of the banknotes or the possibility of counterfeiting. The suspension of the exchange of Trinidad and Tobago currency is likely to have a negative impact on trade and travel between Jamaica and Trinidad and Tobago. It will also make it more difficult for Jamaicans to send money to relatives and friends in Trinidad and Tobago. The BOJ has said that the suspension will remain in effect until further notice. It is not clear how long the review will take, but it is possible that the suspension could last for several months or even years. In the meantime, Jamaicans who need to exchange Trinidad and Tobago currency are advised to do so through commercial banks or other financial institutions.
Okay, so let me see if I understand. It is not the norm where they don't take the Trinidad and Tobago dollar in Jamaica. This measure has been taken because of fears of counterfeiting. That's what they say, right?
Jamaica said something totally different from what Colin Booth said. Totally different. One is to mislead the people of Trinidad and Tobago, and the other one is the facts. Because Jamaica don't have nothing to mislead, they give you the facts. Facts is the facts. You understand? And that is the kind of information you're getting from these fellas and them. Right?
They're trying to make it seem as though everything is normal. You know what they're probably trying not to do, Anselm, is inject fear. Because when you inject fear in the financial area, industry, financial banks and stuff, it ain't good, you know. It's not a good thing.
But people in Trinidad are fearful anyway.
It's not a good thing, you know.
We have a lot of fear going on in Trinidad.
He's trying to stave off fear, you know, and you know, everything is good. Everything. I don't know if he like it. He go send you a pre-protocol letter. Look, Mr. Red House, show up, troublemaker.
Dr. Shane Mohammed, how have you been? It's been
Happy
a while.
holidays.
Happy holidays.
Hey, happy holidays to you all too.
How things?
It's fair to find. It's partly cloudy.
Partly cloudy.
With a little, with the tendency for serious flash flooding in Shibboleth, on the corridor, wherever there seemed to have been rain, a heavy shower of rain today.
But Dr. Mohammed, we're talking property tax, right? And I put out a video. You saw the video I put out. And the video was the minister in the Ministry of Finance, Brian Manning, told a presenter that Trinidad have one of the lowest property tax rate on the hemisphere. Right? And I said, but wait now, boy, Trinidad, real good. I said, that is excellent. So I went and do a little fact check. And the minister himself, because I put a post on my Facebook page, the minister himself responded. We had a long discussion, boy, about 16, 17 different messages. He sent me an article from the businessinsider.com. Oh, God, they kick him out, boy. Somebody kick him out. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. So we wait until he comes back.
Yeah, the internet system in Trinidad and Tobago, I understand, is buffering a lot.
Yeah,
I don't know what's going on. If the weather, if it's deliberate, if Dr. Mohammed ain't pay bill, I don't know what's going on.
Something.
The problem is it's not automatically signing me into the chat, so I can't respond to comments.
Oh yeah, but anyway, we going again.
You see, yeah, boy.
Something going on, but
yeah.
Anyway, so folks, that is what JB said PNM sabotage.
Sabotaging, that's right.
Yeah, so folks, the question is this, right? Why would you as a minister go on a television station and mislead the population? Because so far, there has been no evidence that was given by him to support what the statement that he made. So anyway, before they kicked you out again, Dr. Mohammed. So in the discussion between Mr. Manning and myself, and I determine that is your friend, but I don't know how true that is. Between Mr. Manning and myself, he said to me that I am lying. And he sent me an article from the businessinsider.com from June of 2023 that shows the effective property tax rate for all the states in the United States of America. Not just half, all. But it appears that Mr. Manning didn't read it. He didn't read it because which state have the highest property tax rate in the United States of America? Yours truly is an example, and yours truly live in that state, New Jersey. 2.47%. The lowest, we started in Hawaii, which was 0.27 or 0.47%. Many of the states is point something. But not only that, if you go over to the Caribbean, you will see that many of those Caribbean islands are 0.5%, this percent, and which is under 1%. And so far, he have not sent me any facts to show that Trinidad has one of the lowest property tax rates on the hemisphere. So I don't know if you have some information that we didn't have that he sent to you, and you know that he was coming on here tonight, and he said, Dr. Mohammed, when you go on, give that fella up there from New Jersey who have the highest property tax rate. Give him these numbers to me. The floor is yours.
And my state is the third highest one, eh?
Oh, Diana as well, because Diana is the third highest.
So the first thing is, what exactly were you looking forward to in terms of response?
I mean, he responded, when I put the post out.
Yeah, but what exactly were you looking for in a response?
For him to prove that Trinidad have one of the lowest property tax rates on the hemisphere.
Not happening.
You're not playing politics and you're not playing ball then.
Not happening.
You have to understand that the man is under he's collective ministerial responsibility. So if you have to also understand that the man is not going to deviate from collective ministerial responsibility in any way, and that he's also minister to Commonwealth. You want a man to lose his work?
No. But just don't make that statement. Just don't say Trinidad have one of the lowest property tax rates on the hemisphere. You do not have to say that.
He has. You see, what I'll tell you this. And let me state from the upfront that I have no issues whatsoever with property tax being reintroduced in the Trinidad and Tobago system. I think at the end of the day, property tax to be paid is something that is a necessity in the greater framework of governance and in effecting certain administrative responsibilities that comes from not the government as a political entity, but from the state, which is beyond the political divide and political construct of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. My problem, however, is that the system of collecting property tax in the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago is definitely and terribly flawed. Why? Because I'm sure you would have heard this before, but I will say it again. No citizen of Trinidad and Tobago, whether rich, poor, or indifferent, should be paying property tax based on a presumption that their property is worth a presumed or an approximate value in rent. That makes no sense, because there are several hundreds of thousands of people that live and own property in Trinidad and Tobago who shall never, and I say who shall never, rent their property, and therefore who also would never have intentions of seeking a value of their property for rental purposes. Therefore, if you are doing property tax, your formula should be based squarely on the valuation of someone's property, regardless of where they live. That's on a residential level, first and foremost. Then we can take it another level to commercial. But you cannot expect to run a country and to provide and to implement tax on a population based on something which would never exist in some instances, in many instances. And therefore the taxation of the property tax, the taxation on the people, is very unfair. It is ludicrous. It is ridiculous. And it is a burden that the country, the citizens of this country, should not have to endure. Because it's just not fair.
I
it's not the right thing.
Yeah, Dr. Maud, I think he was listening to us, you know. I feel so. Because listen to this, right? The minimum value ARV is $18,000, right? Annual rental value. So listen, if you have, and I'm using this from someone else, if you have a matchbox, a 5x5 matchbox, right? The minimum is $18,000, right? So that is the cap. That is it, $18,000. You will get, based on the annual rental value, it's $540 for the year, which I think is $45 per month, right?
Yeah.
So wait,
yeah.
you telling me if I have a matchbox and you have a big box, well, some people could say red box if you live in Port Elizabeth, and you have a big box, both are we paying the same 3%? Both are we paying the? I do not pay the same amount of property tax as my next door neighbor, or my neighbor across there, or my neighbor across there, or my neighbor back. So we all don't pay the same 3% of our property tax. And I was saying, just as you said to the people, this property tax is regressive and oppressive. And then he would tell you, well, if you can't pay it, you will get
be based on two levels. It should be based on two levels. One, strictly what is residential. So strictly on one residential value, so there's supposed to be a two-tiered system. One, strictly residential, right? Therefore, as you rightfully say, what is the value of the person next to you is definitely not going to be the value of the person on your left-hand side or the right side. So therefore, nobody should have to pay 3% across the board based on a presumptive, let's go with the minimum, 18,000. Because, as you rightfully say, there's going to be villages and towns in Trinidad and Tobago, streets, let's take a street, where one house is going to be 7 bedrooms big, and another house is going to be 3 bedrooms big. But one is wooden and one is concrete. One might be an estate house, one might be a new developed house on the same street. But you are going on a presumptive value that the 7-bedroom house, which is wooden, is the same 18,000 as the 3-bedroom house, which is concrete, which may very well be not the real thing, because the 7-bedroom estate property may be valued at 5 million as compared to the 3-bedroom concrete that is valued at 2.
But listen to this, right? I don't know if you know this, and I think Diana should know about this. I mean, in New Jersey, right, we pay the highest property tax in the country, 2.47%, right? And that is the effective property tax rate. And that how they came to that is that we may pay property tax based on the assessed value of your property, right? Some people may based on the market value, right? Like in Trinidad, it's based on the annual rental value. But in America, when we file our taxes, if you itemize your taxes, you get a property deduction for property taxes. Were you aware of that? So when I file in my taxes, if I pay $15,000 in taxes, I get a deduction on my taxes for property tax because I itemize. And once I reach a certain amount, I am allowed to deduct a certain amount of my property taxes. So therefore, if they're saying that the property tax is 3% of annual rental value, I am not really paying 3% eventually because I got a deduction in my taxes. Do they get a deduction in Trinidad for paying property tax?
No. You see, I will say this to you again. This is going to be something that I would repeat over and over on this show and on any other show that I'm on. This political scientist is not going to give free advice to this administration or to the other side that will put them in a position to use a strategy or a thought process or an idea for it to become their manifesto promise. But I was coming up the highway from south thinking about exactly what you just said. And it is just not. The solution to this is just too easy for people who know everybody, for people who know claim to know everything about politics and the practice of politics, for them to get this so wrong. And the taxation of property tax on the population is just another indication that the government lacks any innovative thinking.
Full 100. Full 100.
At all. They lack any innovative thought.
None. They bankrupt ideas. They totally bankrupt.
I mean, I hate to quote him, but I heard him say it in Parliament just before Christmas. And Rudolph Munilal said that in 20 months, he doesn't know where this government would be, because half of them are retired, half of them are unemployable, and the other half is untrainable.
Oh no!
Oh God!
And
Oh no!
listen, you have to give him. I gave him his credit because I quoted him, but it is he who said it, right? And when he said, I said it's a brilliant statement to be put on Hansard because it's true. 50% of them are untrainable and 50% of them are unemployable. But it also applies to the United National Congress as well.
Well, it's
Dr. Mohammed, a speaker of the truth has no friends, be very careful.
I don't, and listen, I learned that way about what is the value and what is the meaning of friendship, and I have no intention, I have no qualms about having no friends in that arena.
But Dr. Mohammed, I sit with amazement how this government could get this property tax so wrong. And they have had the time to get it right. And I ask the question. Let's say you sitting down in the cabinet and this comes to you. And the Minister of Finance say, well, we're going to put a property tax rate of 3% across the board. And you are Prime Minister Rowley. I go say, but calm. How I go pay the same 3% as a person up in Chumaka Clavantil who living in a half-bedroom shack? How we go pay the same property tax? Come.
But the people in Federation Park done making noise already. If Federation Park making noise, what do you think? How many people in the lower value areas? I ain't calling the names, but we know. What do you think gonna happen? And they can't pay. They can't pay, and they're gonna go and put liens now on these people's property, owed taxes with interest on it and all that. That's what's coming down the pipeline if it is properly administered.
The one thing, Diana, the one thing about that concept is that they have never cared. They have never cared for the traditional voters in the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, whether the traditional voters be their traditional PNM voters or the traditional UNC voters. They've never cared about that grouping of persons, because in their mind, when that election bell is rung, a certain grouping of persons will automatically vote for the PNM, and a certain grouping and percentage of persons will automatically vote for the UNC, and the middle, they're in the minority. But there's a very rude awakening, a very, very rude awakening that exists. And if they have not done their homework and put some thought into the results of the 2023 local government election, then they would realize that the numbers that they had in 2006, 2007, 2010, 2015, and also to a great extent in 2020, has changed and will change in 2025. So, unfortunately, they could let them go ahead. Because I'll tell you this, I am not picking up for any side. I've quoted what Munilal has said because it's a good point. It's a very, very, very valid point. But I'm telling you, the other side has nothing to offer as an option, as an alternative in terms of what they are saying about property tax. The only thing they're saying is that they're going to ban property, they're going to cut the tax again in their language, right? That they're going to reverse property tax. I'm not saying to reverse property tax, but they see we are in a culture, well, they, not we. They exist in a political culture of ignorance, of lack of understanding. They have not evolved. And as a result of that lack of evolution lack of understanding, lack of realities, they still believe that what they have and what they put forward is going to be lapped up by Tom, Dick, and Harry, beyond, and that the 20 or 30,000 difference between the UNC and the PNM is going to benefit the UNC in 2025. Nope. You see, you have to take into consideration that property tax also is going to affect Tobago. You also have to take into consideration that in 2023 local government election, 60,000 people in Tobago did not vote. And you also have to take into consideration that I did say a couple of weeks ago that it is in the interest of the central government that they work together. And when Farley did say he is willing to work with the Prime Minister for the better good of Tobago, Rowley just didn't take that. He let that go through one ear and come through next. So I say let them continue to do what they're supposed to do, what they believe that they are doing is right. What I do know is that the population is not stupid.
Nope.
And the population is far more informed,
intelligent,
and intelligent.
Even
right?
though some of they
and
get some of the
reasonable.
information. Yes.
And, I mean, you have to take into consideration, Diana, that they are going to be the gullible ones. We do have to understand that. I did talk about the fact that there are a certain percentage of traditional voters that exist. But those traditional voters, you'll realize, well, you would, if you look at the results of 2023 alone, will tell you that they're in the minority now. So let them be. There will be a signal at some point in time. There's going to be a signal at some point in time.
Don't you think it is a responsibility of a voter to your vote? It must stand for something positive and growth, and not something ritualistic. The PNM, UNC. I mean, ain't you supposed to come up out of that and say, you know what, my children and my grandchildren have to. I'm going to go and leave them behind. What I'm going to do now, shouldn't they be sitting down and thinking, are my grandchildren and my great grands and my children going to fare better by my decision? Isn't it their responsibility to make it better for the people coming behind, and not be, and just discard that ritual of you're doing this thing the same way all the time and you're getting the same result. You don't want Trinidad and Tobago to fare better?
But you see, that's a very valid statement, and a very valid question in that statement as well. But we have to also understand that even that percentage of persons, they're not willing to. They're not willing to hear that, because the conversation, the political dialogue that is supposed to make the younger version, the younger generations excited, has not emerged as yet. When the younger voters, when the non-traditional voters, when the young professionals, when the middle class, when the dialogue starts to be had, that starts making them listen that change is necessary, change is on your doorstep, and we need to get things done differently, then those persons whose ears and whose motivation who are motivated to vote starts to resonate and ricochet, then you will have those very same persons having conversations with what you are saying, those whose vote should count for the future generations. But that time is not now.
You're not going. You are not going. I want people to understand. You're not going to be here on this earth forever. Your actions, should make it easier for those coming behind, especially those young, eager ones. I know of a young man, very upstanding young man, applying for work every which way, can't get no work. Did very well in his CAPE exams, applied to a certain entity in Tobago, and they're telling him, you ought to know somebody inside here to get a work. And he's highly qualified. Why is this the situation with a young, upstanding man that you, Trinidad and Tobago, all you educate, and then know he got nothing to do? But fortunate for the young man, he's raised in a home with a mother and father, so he's not ripe fodder for the gangs. Why is it exist? Why does it exist? There's no way he can go find a job. What are we doing for our young people? Why does this situation exist?
Yes.
You educating them to do what? To sit on
They're
home?
going to tell you. They're going to turn around and tell you that you're not paying attention, and therefore you're not looking.
I ain't paying attention. I mean, I ain't paying attention. Look, all of them.
They're gonna, you see, the narrative is that they're going to turn around and tell you and me. They're going to tell you and I that we are not paying attention to the number of youth programs that exist under the Ministry of National Security and under the Ministry of Youth and National Service. So they're also going to tell you that you're not paying attention to Commonwealth's budget statement
I don't pay attention to he at all.
Where he spoke about. Well, right, and you see, they want us to think that there are so many youth programs and programs that target the young people, that people in this country, young people in this country, should not be complaining about employment, because the government also has implemented programs that are geared towards promoting not only youth employment, but youth entrepreneurship. However, they are not going to tell you, and they're not going to ask themselves either, because they're only interested in patting themselves on the back and to say that we have done this and we've implemented that. They're not going to tell us, and they're not going to say it to us either. And they're not even going to ask themselves the question, are the programs that exist under the government framework for employment of young people, is it aligned to the goals, the life goals, objectives, aims, and dreams of those young people? And even if it does, is it readily available? So he would talk about, look at the amount of concessions that has been given to those persons who are interested in entrepreneurship, especially in IT, and especially in agriculture. How many persons can you possibly encourage to go into entrepreneurship in IT and in agriculture? How many? What about those who are in the arts? What about those who are in creatives? What about those who
took it out of my mouth? Yeah.
Outside of the traditional
intellectual disciplines, right?
Yeah. What about those? Right? You see, that is, and then we ask ourselves, wait, boy, why is there a brain drain? And why is it we are going to have to force young people who go out of Trinidad and Tobago on scholarships? Why are we going to have to now implement by force a mandatory requirement for them to come back to Trinidad and Tobago to serve for 3 years that we have paid for? That, and even when they come back and they have paid their dues, why are they not staying? Why are they gone again? So You see, that is because we are dealing with a grouping of politicians that believe that they are in the know, and that the political practice as they know it has remained the same and will continue to remain the same for the next 20 years. That is the first thing.
You know, Dr. Mohammed, there's a quote by Mark Twain. It's easier to fool people than to convince them that they have been fooled.
That's a very good question that Troy has asked. Who is going to be responsible for paying property tax for HGC tenants? Will it be them or the HGC? The question is, are they even going to be, is property tax even relevant to them? That's the question, because HDC tenants who are paying rentals, you can't expect them to pay rent. You can't expect them to pay property tax for rentals.
The owner? But so how are they going to realize the property tax on that? How are they going to do it?
So therefore, property tax will only apply to HDC owners, not
owners, right?
tenants.
Right.
Right?
If you have,
So therefore,
if you're an HGC tenant and you renting, you gotta pay property tax.
No.
You have a residential,
you gotta pay tax.
You have residential
No.
property, then you have to pay property tax. Right? Now, Dr. Mohammed, there is another
And even
picture.
that is unfair. Even that is unfair. Even that system is also flawed.
Which
because
one? The rental on HGC or the property tax on HGC of houses?
The property tax on HDC ownerships.
Right. And that makes sense because them is the lowest of the lowest as well. Right? And
it's also not fair as to them either, because when you sign your documents to HDC to get the property, there's a certain section of the contract that you sign where you can't rent your property out nor sell it for a certain number of years. So therefore, the question then comes up.
A lot of,
There's where the flaw is in the system, because you want somebody, let's just say somebody who got their house last week from the Minister of Housing, right? They have to pay property tax on a potential rental value of a property that they will never rent.
Yes, they will have to
pay
rent. Based on the law, their minimum value is 18,000. So
correct.
So think about this. The government just had a scheme. I call it a scheme. To give out some free houses, right? Right? Giving out free houses. They want to give out about 600 free houses. If you give me a free house, right, do I have to go and pay property? If you give me a free house, mean to say I can't afford it, right? Do I now have to turn around and pay property tax on the free house that you gave me?
Apparently.
I mean,
and you know what? And I always have problems with that word rental value, because if you ain't rent, if they shouldn't they use real value, Anselm, instead of rental value, or find another word? Because if you ain't going to rent out your place,
there should never be the word. The word should never exist in the conversation that we are having.
No,
the word should never exist.
At all, and you can't. They're not understanding.
And putting a minimum of 18,000 on a half-bedroom shack don't make sense. If I have a half-bedroom shack where I just rest in my head when the night come, right? You telling me that I am going to have to pay $540 for the year for property value.
Then I could use that $540 to buy some concrete and a few blocks to get the thing into a whole shack.
The value of the house might be $10,000.
Oh Lord!
You put an annual.
What about But what? Okay, so if let's be devil's advocate for a bit. If you cannot and have not as an administration, if you have not and cannot and have not as an administration collected rent from your own voters, the persons who are considered your own voters, right? If you've not collected property tax from your own voters because of a potential or possible fear of a backlash politically, then, and that rent is sometimes as little as $100 a month or less, then how you expect people to pay property tax at a minimum a value of $18,000?
Who come up with that figure? Who come up with that figure?
It had to be Coleman
Call him invert again, causing discomfort on the Trinidadians and Tobagonians. Imsbert, you again. You know what I'm saying? Why? And this is what we've been arguing all along. Why are you putting rental in there? I don't want to rent my property. So what kind of value you telling me that if I rent in order to pay taxes, you have to assess a rental value? I don't plan to rent my property. So why is it you're coming up with this word rental? Why can't it be real assessed value?
Well, listen to this,
I
right?
fed up with them, yes.
This is what I say. If you are going to use ARV, make it not regressive and oppressive. For example, right? If you are going to go into certain urban communities, you know them people can't afford to pay no 3% of annual rental value. And
why they paying the same thing Dr. Rowley paying? He paying 3% too?
Right. You can't tell a person, well, it's only $40 a year, it's only $40 a month. You don't know my pocket.
That's right.
You're a minister.
That's
and
right.
You for $100,000 and something dollars. And you tell me, well, as the prime minister telling people, well, what is $100 a month or what is $50 a month? Previously, he had said people shouldn't have to pay him $50 a month. Right? That's when he was in opposition, but different day, different story. No, you turn around and telling people, what is 100? What is 50? You know my pocket. In order for you to tell me what is $50. So when the government had thought about
this is simply Anson, this is simply politics as a morality of its own, and slapping Dr. Rowley in the face.
We're not just slapping him in the face, in the BAMC too.
Easy. Hey, watch yourself. Don't be. I'm a prime minister.
No, because you know what it is though? I don't understand though how the people who the property tax will affect the most have been suffering peacefully. And the people who could afford it the most already making noise.
Making noise. Federation Park balling out.
I don't get it. Federation Park could afford whether they put 20,000, 40,000 annual ARV, they could afford it. But they already, and they didn't complain to the what is the revenue department, whatever they're making up that name.
Revenue authority.
Yes, they complain straight to the finance minister. The finance minister said,
there's a European country. I have to research and I'll send it to your answer so you could have the bot read it. But what the European country has done, and I don't want to quote it wrong, but the country, they've gone in and they bought up all the areas that they call ghetto and throw the people out and turn those areas into high rise and expensive things. And you can't. That's it. If you're found living in one of them after the deadline.
That's because those European countries are not that European country is not dependent on those quote unquote low cost areas.
They throw them out. I'll send the article to you, Anselm. I don't know if it's Norway or one of them. Yeah. And wait a minute, here's a point I wanted to make. Possible in my poetic head. I believe, and I'm going to say it, this is a plot to go and take up all them properties in Laventille by the so-called 1%ers. Because when the people can't afford to pay the taxes in those high view areas, you know, they have beautiful view of the city and the island from there, right? They're going to come and put liens on the property. You can't pay, government sees it. That's just my belief. Their sea lots beat them. All those areas they want to reclaim and give it to the 1%ers. If I'm wrong, well, I'm wrong.
Well, I think the way that this property tax came into Trinidad, and I felt that the people, because what I've said, Dr. Mohammed, I've said to the people who can't pay I feel all of them should appeal the property tax because they don't have a system in place in Trinidad. If thousands and thousands of people appeal the property tax, they don't have the system in place to even deal with that. And
they don't have the.
And the thing about
get signatures and drop them off.
What's that?
You can get signatures and drop them off to your parliamentary representative.
Get signatures and drop them off. I don't understand.
Well, if the parliamentary representatives are not paying attention, if the parliamentary representatives are not paying attention, because that is what the parliamentary representatives are supposed to do. They should be having a conversation that touch on concern and opportunity for property tax. It should not be. It should not be no tax, right? You see, Kamala is consistently saying no tax, no tax, no tax, right? She is not reading what the population is saying. She's not listening to anybody in terms of the rationale behind taxation. Nobody is saying no. I haven't heard somebody say in the academic field, in the economic field, in the business sector, in the even residential sector, in residents of Trinidad and Tobago. Nobody said that they are not going to pay or opposed to paying property tax. What they are saying that
the amount and the
it's
time and all that.
It's what they have to pay based on, right? And you know, this is a good one. The one about if your grandmother paid for 30 years, whoever gets grandma house have to pay that for the next 30 years. That is ludicrous. That is craziness, right? So the thing is,
go ahead.
The thing is, again, if you have put that is not even something that this is not even a statement that should be relevant. There should be no doubt. You cannot pay tax based on something that has not happened for the last 30 years. And if I know Granny very well, Granny and them was very comfortable paying the land and building tax and the 200 and 300 a year or whatever the case may have been, right? But the point is, nobody, you know, we've stirred up this whole narrative that property tax is not that, you know, the whole tax campaign was against the system of taxation and what the property tax would have become, right? And therefore, it isn't, according to Albert, you know, it is not about the tax. It is not about the tax, because remember, up until property tax became an issue, people were pretty comfortable paying their land and building tax, and it was a norm. It was part of their everyday. It was part of their household living, right? It became a ritual. It was just as if they had to pay a light bill or a phone bill. They know they have to pay their land and building tax, whether it is they put it for a year at an annual level or a quarterly level, whatever people pay their taxes. The problem that people are having, which remains the same problem, this is no different to what the campaign has been, right? Before and now, is that it is not about tax. It is about the implementation of this new taxation system, which is a problem. It is flawed. it is unfair, it is unjustified, it is irrational, because there are persons you are putting the great assumption and presumption on the entire population that everybody has contemplated, regardless of their social standing level, whether regardless of their economic standing level, regardless of all across the board, right? You've put an assumption and presumption on the fact that everybody at some point in time in their life is going to think about, if I rent a room downstairs.
And
When in
7%
fact,
of the hour.
So,
in fact, that
Dr. Mohammed, all that thought right here. Dr. Mohammed, all that thought right here. We got to go for a quick station identification. It's in the village with the DAT Triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM. It's the Storm, Professor Wall Street, and Dr. Shane Mohammed and you on WZYE 95.9 FM. Stick and stay. We'll be right back after this short break. Don't go nowhere.
Right.
You're listening to WZYE 95.9 FM. You are listening to WZYE 95.9 FM, the most influential name in Caribbean radio in the tri-state area. Broadcasting from East Orange, New Jersey, the most influential name in Caribbean radio, WZYE 95.9 FM.
This is oh Lord, Trinidad and Tobago. This is DJ Bravo. I'm hurting it up. This is a sad place. My country turned into a sad place. When I look around, it's only sad face. Our country turned into a sad place. All I see in front of me, nightmares turn into reality. Like somebody build a monster factory. Parliament up against parliament economy. But let the moderators in another body in a drain. Somebody girl child missing, another rape again. An next road stain with somebody's sunburn. Who take the S out of Port of Spain? This is a sad place.
And we are back with you. It's in the village with the DAT Triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM. We come to you every Tuesday, Thursday from 7 to 10 p.m. Tonight we have with us no stranger to In the Village. You know, Dr. Shane Mohammed, political scientist, Dr. Shane Mohammed. Dr. Shane Mohammed, continue.
Yeah, so
did you hear me?
You know, I listened to that. Yes, I can hear.
Yeah. Okay. Just continue. You were saying something. You were saying something before we went for the break.
You know, I listened to this song that DJ Bravo. I was talking about, before I left, we were talking about you know, the whole idea of the misconstruction and misconstruing of the reality of the narrative. And we cannot afford to, you see, the bottom line is this. At the end of the day, he will say the masses have not protested. On top of that, the opposition has not offered an alternative. And the alternative is not that there is no tax. The alternative should be that the tax should be based on the value of the property. First up, when you survey your property and you get a valuation of it, that should be the 2% that you pay or 3% that you pay on it. Full stop. So you see what it does, and what come is probably he worked out the maths, and he thought that his friends in Federation Park and Marabal and Westmoreland and Goodwood Park and San Fernando and, you know, all of the quote-unquote bougie areas, he thought that by going on the value of the rental, that he would have appeased everybody. Average Joe, who is also living in Lange Park or Westmoreland or Goodwood Park or Santa Margarita or Bel Air, average Joe who owns a property in these areas also will say to you,
Quench my thirst, gentlemen. Quench my thirst. Go ahead.
I didn't think about, I've not thought about, or didn't, the idea of a rental never crossed my mind. The only people that are considering rental right now, who owns a residential property, is those who are, like Rose just said, considering flying out of the country and leaving it behind. But Anselm, I will say this to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. That is also a narrative that I will never encourage. What are we going to do? We can't simply, not everybody can pick up themselves, pack up, and leave and start fresh. Not everybody in this country has that luxury. And therefore the masses who cannot afford that, the masses must now go to their representatives and say that this tax is unfair. Chairmen of local government corporations especially, mayors where applicable, there's only two where it's applicable, in Siparia and in Shogunas. They should be the ones that are following a different discussion about what is the alternative to property tax. It should not be like there's a line that continues to resonate in my head. Because again, not everybody has the ability to empty the clip.
But Dr.
There's
Mohammed,
only a fraction of people that can understand that statement and act on it.
But Dr. Mohammed, I want to say that what you're trying to propose there, I don't think it's going to happen. Because if I am a P&M run corporation, I am not going to go against what the big boss says. If the big boss says it's 3%, that is it. Me going to. Huh?
Is that we've come full circle. It's the very same thing I said to you at the start of the show when I came on, is that you couldn't expect Brian Manning to say anything different than what he said because of collective ministerial responsibility.
Right.
And with regard to those mayors and chairmen that control the corporations by the PNM, which is 7, they will say no different because the cushion that they sit on is very lofty.
Correct.
And therefore they will enjoy that, right? So therefore the narrative is not going to change. But there are 7 corporations that are not currently that are not run by the PNM, and they are not saying anything any different because the leadership of their party is also very flawed in their thinking. So therefore, both sides are doing a great injustice to the whole of Trinidad and Tobago.
Well, look at this, right? I think that at the end of the day, the government can make those decisions with respect to property taxes. And the government have totally bungled this property tax. Totally. No if, buts, or maybe about it. Not only that, but if this government was serious about reducing the 26% of poor black people living below the poverty line, that property tax that they have instituted, it would have never been a 3% across the board. Never. It could have been a tax. Whereas that, well, if you go based on the market value of the property, you know for a fact the value of a property in Lavantil will be way different than the value of a property in Westmoreland, as an example. So you know now that that person will be taxed properly because it's based on market value. So for example, if Miss Jane house was priced at $50,000, for example, right? And you want to give them a 10%, you want to give them a discount, like how you put a 10% discount on top of the annual rental value, and it's 90%, then you make it 3%, and then actually they say no, it's 2.7% of the annual rental value, right? Because they take the discount and they put it in to the 3% to make it 2.7%. But I really don't care about that. Well, whatever it is, right? So when you look at
regardless of whether they put a discount or not.
Yeah, whether you put a discount or not.
Regardless of whether there's I don't understand. It's like, should we be happy? Should we be excited? Is this a sale?
But wait now,
Is a Boxing Day sale here?
Yeah, but let me think about something. Prime Minister Rowley need a discount. Colin Booth need a discount. Stuart Young need a discount. Faris Al-Wari need a discount. Terence D. Singh need a discount. And you telling
you call that name not Kroll.
Okay, all right. Let me take that. You telling people that but all they getting a discount, but it's like if them ain't getting no discount. And that's why this thing is, and I've said it, it is regressive and oppressive. If this government was serious, you know who they would have taxed first? Commercial property.
And do an incremental schedule for others, and bring it up to the 3% over a period of time.
And you know why? And you know why? Because if they're going on rental value, the rental value already exists for commercial properties.
That's right.
Here we go.
But I will even say, even for commercial properties, it should never be based on a rental value. Because nobody's rental value is the same. A rental value in Debe Penal, commercial rental value in Debe Penal, and a rental value on High Street in San Fernando are two separate things. Two completely different.
Right. But
completely different things.
But it goes on to say that, right? So we have the property tax, 3% of annual rental value after you get a discount, right? You get a little discount. Prime Minister Rowley, we get a discount. Colin Booth, we get all your discount. All you get the same discount as them poor black people up in Laventille. All you can afford the same thing, right? But listen to this. What if the San Juan Laventille Regional Corporation used to collect $20 million in taxes? They had a subvention from the government of $20 million, right? They only collect $15 million in taxes now. Now the government had to make up the difference, right? Right? Let me ask the same question now. Second, what about if the government used to give them a subvention of $20 million, but now they collect $30 million? Does the government keep the extra $10 million that was collected? Or does it go?
They probably do. They probably do, and they're gonna corrupt themselves. They're gonna siphon the money.
I don't know.
You're going to a whole different level. You're going to a whole different level of multi. This is about, we're talking now multi-level governance here, and you're talking about the whole idea of the corporation, the money going towards the corporation.
Yes.
Local government reform has not reached the parliament yet, so slow down.
I know that. The councillors are still part-time. The property tax is not even. Yeah.
It's still vested in central government. Property tax is still vested in central government.
Correct. Absolutely correct.
At the close of Parliament for the holiday season last week, there was no discussion whatsoever yet on the movement towards local government reform, the implementation. All right. So the thing about it is, this thing, these people don't have It's not that they don't have a plan. They don't have
No, they
a
don't have a
vision.
plan. No. I disagree with you. Right? They don't even have a plan. Because if they had plan for property tax, if they had a plan in place, they would have, they want to just have, it's like, I don't think they did a SWOT analysis. Strengths, weakness, opportunities.
Woo! I tell you, let me tell you something. You and I will
Wait,
follow up.
let me finish this
right?
SWOT
You
now.
and I
Go,
will
tell me go with the acronym. Let me go now. Let me hear this.
No. Hush your mouth, hush your mouth, hush your mouth.
I want to learn.
You don't know which one of them is listening. No.
I gained that information.
No, don't share. Nah, hold on.
Yeah.
When you're sharing information, no.
Don't tell
I
him.
take that
Okay.
back. Hey, Olia,
Mash the brakes.
It's a sweat. I mean sweat. I'm talking about that sweat.
They're gonna figure it out.
Watch me. Do not under any circumstances, under no circumstances, are you to provide when I on the show any information that
originates from you.
No, not even that. Not even that, No, not even that. Do not share an ounce of information that edifies the brain cells of those fools.
This is why I say, I agree with you. I say, when I listen to them, I just only use 5% of my brains. I'm being honest with you. When I listen to them, it's like I use 5% of my brains because listen, the little simple things, the simple things that could be done, them don't do it.
Nope.
I am like, how could you be that
bad? Because they don't care. They don't care. The government lacks. The government members, they are members of the government that have been so privileged in their entire life. They lack the compassion to even begin to comprehend what living under hardship is like. They don't understand the word struggle. They don't understand the whole concept of making two ends meet. They don't understand it. They will never understand it. It's the same way that dotish Khadija Amin will never understand that you cannot convert a traditional PNM voter to vote for the UNC.
And you know what I don't agree with? He said, if your friend, you don't like his name, 90% of the people that say get the back pay. I wonder if the other 10 get them yet. 90%. You telling me?
No, he said he only paid $900 million is 90%. I want to know. I think what he needs to do is break it down. Break it down. I don't want to hear that $900 million at the it was spent before Christmas.
Even if it's $1 billion,
I want it to be broken.
All the people should get their money, and here now they come in and they're talking about NIB get hacked. NIB get hacked. Remember, that's a thing going on now, right? Everything is hacked now. So that's the reason why they can't.
Everybody smelling a rat. NIB get a holiday between for the rest of the
They close it. Yeah, they close up, and people ain't getting their money. There's nobody to process the work at NIB.
For the rest of the year, NIB is closed. That meant that NIB, unlike the rest of the public service, did not get hacked. And therefore, I want to know is what has been put in place to prevent the country, the whole system in the country, to prevent hacking.
But here now, Dr. Mohammed, right? They get hacked.
I want to know what is the status. What is the status of WASA? What is the status of TNTech? Right?
You're gone. He gone down the road I was going.
We ain't reached there yet.
So Wassa gonna get hacked next. TSTT already get
I want to
hacked.
know what is the status of Wassa.
Then
TSTT
TSTT
already
get
get
hacked.
hacked, right?
Okay. NIB hacked.
It's too much.
Wassa gonna get hacked next. Who's the next one gonna get hacked?
easy.
Massey? You think Massey gonna get hacked?
It's too easy. I think Massey got hung and they didn't even know.
Massey get hacked and all, and everything
now.
is ringing up at the cash register is a penny. How about that? Oh boy, I tell you.
I think we have exhausted
So let me ask you a question.
this government.
When they shut down NIB, who processing the work that people can get paid that rely on those funds? You can help me, Dr. Mohammed?
Well,
I'm just asking for a friend. Because I ain't too smart,
I assume that they had a dual system where they could have gone in and processed people's NIS for well, no. Remember, they would have paid NIS early. And
I know how it is paid.
So
I don't know
NIS
how
would
it's
have been
paid.
NIS would have been paid early for the month of December. So it gives them all of next week to start putting things in place to when they go back out to work from next week Tuesday. It puts them in a position to start getting all their stuff prepared for payments. Before, I think would have been probably by the 20th of January.
So who hacking? Who's doing the hacking? They know who's behind the hacking?
But I don't understand when the Trinidad and Tobago becomes such a lucrative a lucrative destination for hacking.
Yeah, it's like all of a sudden. I said, what? TSTT hack? NIB hack? Who else gonna get hacked now? It's a hack. One girl say, hack my tail. There's a sort of tricks in the skin.
I mean, I don't think are we more attractive than Ghana right now to be hacked?
I don't know. Could it be? Let me get them a look. Could it be that they're in the process of digitalizing Trinidad and Tobago? So some little what do you call them? Areas have been exposed and they're plugging in the wrong wires the wrong way. Is it possible? I don't know. I'm asking for a friend.
If you are asking, that's also a question that the simple answer to that is then we are also dealing with a flawed governance system and flawed governance processes and procedures, and therefore you're only reiterating the fact that this government and members of I would say members, let me correct myself, certain characters of the government are inept.
I can't. When your national telecommunication company can be hacked, something wrong. Something wrong. They're not all your data. Almost everybody has a phone. So if it ain't something wrong, something is wrong. And they scapegoat this woman and send her home. Something that
I don't think they scapegoated. I don't think they scapegoated her. I don't think so.
Well. So why is she gone? Why are they blaming her? Why is she gone then?
But she should have known better. You see, you're not a friend of the government until you're really a friend of the government. That's just how it is.
So she lost her work because what?
And rightfully so.
Huh?
Rightfully so. Rightfully so.
Rightfully so? Okay.
Yeah. Rightfully so. You can't tell me that we got hacked 3 times. 3? And you said nothing after the first one?
She said nothing?
No.
Maybe she didn't know.
She has to be
maybe
dumb.
People conspire. I think maybe she didn't know, Dr. Mohammed. Is it possible?
How you are collecting such a huge salary
and
you're starring in the limelight of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, and you don't know what is happening in your back door?
Oh dear.
That's the level of comfort we've gotten.
So perhaps the hack was done deliberately to show the vulnerability of Trinidad and Tobago. 3 times. 3 times you
To
said,
be honest with
Dr.
you,
Mohammed.
I am unnerved by the word hack now, because I think we are so, and I don't want to say anything that is going to be treasonous, but we're not that stupid, you know, in terms of IT. We're not that dumb. We have a lot of brilliant minds in this country that are very IT advanced. And I mean, we teach it at the University of the West Indies, for God's sakes. We teach it here. We have a lot of brilliant minds here that are very skilled as it pertains to IT. So you can't tell me that the government is comfortable with saying somebody within that arena and at that level of ours, I would say national security, was not paying attention.
I wonder if the bank's gonna get hacked now.
Be mindful of what we say.
I'm just asking for a friend. People just put these things in the chat. Diana asked them if the bank's gonna get hacked next because they want to take out their money and put it under their mattress.
Tell your friend to hush. Don't ask no
Okay,
question.
let me type and send a message. Yeah, people you want to take out your money and put it on our mattress because if the bank get hacked, all the money woof, the woof, it's gone. You know? So she's gonna take out your money and put it on our
Caribbean Soul
mattress.
said. You see what Caribbean Soul said?
Really? Really? How email gate happened? What? Diana, you on your I said I'm asking for a friend, Caribbean Soul.
You know what it is at the end of the day, Anthem? At the end of the day, is what we want in this country. What do we want? What do we desire? And how to get there. We could talk from now, and you asked a question earlier that that was the point I was also going to make. You ask, why is it that it cannot be that the government has the power to change the way things are done as it pertains to property tax? The government has the power to change it. Let me ask you this. In the last 8 years of PNM administration, do you recall the government rescinding on a decision it made?
I think they had was to go back to the proper procurement legislation. They had to go back and change that.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. Forget about the procurement legislation, right? Hold on just hold on procurement legislation for a second.
Okay.
Because they stabbed themselves in the foot when it came to the procurement legislation and the ease of doing business. They just added another layer in terms of the bureaucracy of ease of doing business, not realizing that there are certain things that are within the rules and regulations of the public service that applies to procurement. It's not that we don't have procurement. It is we have procurement up to a certain amount. And that is where the procurement legislation was in direct contravention of...
Yeah, you could use that. But they had to go back and change it. They had to go back and change it.
They had to, no, hold on, again, only because it necessitated, hear the word that I am using, it necessitated that they had to go back and change it. Because to align it with the public service rules and regulations, because we're still operating under 1976 rules and regulations, right? But outside of that very small window, which grand decision, policy decision, has this government announced that they have ever been forced, hear the word, forced, or conscionably, hear the other word, to go back and rescind? And the answer to that is none.
Yeah, I'm thinking there. I'm busting my brain.
But listen, why are we on the busting brain thing? Something just I'm recalling, Dr. Mohammed. I saw an article where Clico was sold to a Swedish company. Am I correct?
I have not been paying any attention to Clico and Sweden. And
Let me see. Let me go. Let me
because,
go find it.
Because I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why.
Or no?
Clico.
Wait. Let me go see.
Clico assets?
Yeah, Clico. No, Clico sold a part. I think it's the some part Clico sold off to
some Swedish company
outside of Trinidad and Tobago.
It's Sweden or Switzerland, one of them, right?
Yeah, but
this is the one that
that's a whole next up.
That's a whole different ball game, though. And
well, I'll tell you this: it also does not touch and concern the lives of the masses of Trinidad and Tobago at this stage.
Yeah,
look at it. Government to sell MHIL shares to ProMan.
That's from Clico owned that, and the government want to sell off that to ProMan. But ProMan is that's the next set of thing. ProMan is a preferred company of the PNM government. I'll leave it there.
Sure.
ProMan is a Switzerland bank for certain PNM people in the government. I'll leave it there.
And it says here, well, we ain't leave it. It says here, the government has decided to sell the local insurance company's entire 56.53% shareholding in the Methanol Holdings International Limited to Switzerland's headquartered petrochemical giant ProMan Group.
Yeah, but that's for another discussion, really and truly.
But nobody, we only find out about this in the news. No,
it wasn't in news. It wasn't in news.
It wasn't in news. There you go, eh? You're batting. Dr. Mohammed didn't hear about it. So quite a few other people didn't hear about it.
No. I did hear about it. Now that you're talking about it, you did. Okay. I did hear about the sale of the methanol shares. And I thought nothing about it because, quite honestly, it does not touch and concern the lives of Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah. I agree. I saw it too, and I have a whole different perspective of Clico with regards to CL Financial, and I'm not even going to go down that road because
in the greater scheme of things, the average Trinidadian does not give a crap.
Absolute, and they are absolutely clueless about that. Clueless, and I have a whole different take on that. But I don't think that alone is a program by itself. Because that came from that actually is CL Financial, assets of CL Financial. And that's a whole different ball game. Yeah. And the way how the government have played that, because the government have spent $500 million in a commission of inquiry into CL Financial and Clico, and we only learned that because of the last commission of inquiry into Paria, when the guy called out all the amount of monies they spent on commission inquiry in order for him to convince people why his 15 million was a low number compared to all the rest of money they have spent on commission of inquiries into Trinidad and Tobago. So that is a whole separate thing by itself when you're talking about things happening in Trinidad and Tobago. That
I look forward to seeing, as you say, Paria though. As you said, Paria, I look forward to seeing the contents of that report. As you said, Paria, I look forward to seeing the contents of that report.
They're making it public, or they're going on only subjected to certain parts publicly. They're going on.
He said the entire thing is going to be made public.
Who, the Prime Minister?
Well, the taxpayers' dollars that fund the whole thing.
We don't have to make it
Prime
public.
Minister, he said He said he's going to have to make it. He won't be making it public because it's before the cabinet. He wants the cabinet to see it, and then he's going to have to lay it in Parliament.
Just before 2025 election?
Another
No, I think they're
distraction.
under
or after?
immense. No, with this one, they are under immense pressure to make this public. So I think he may make it public as a distraction to property tax. It's the
Well,
perfect.
look, Caribbean Soul said plus 11 millions gone in the inquiry, not even started into the Point Fortin Highway. You know, when you look at,
you know, we are about to say, I feel we're about to say the same thing, but why have a commission of inquiry into the Point Fortin Highway and finish it at the same time?
You asking tough questions, you know. You know, I mean, I
ask the question again, Dr. Mohammed.
I don't
understand.
Why have a commission of inquiry? Why have a commission of inquiry into the Point Fortin Highway and finish it at the same time? Why?
Oh,
you know
why?
The word Point Fortin.
That's a constituency that fought by the PNM as that constituency. Point Fortin.
Once. 1986.
Who was it now?
PNM.
PNM, okay.
Even in their darkest, deepest hour. Even at their darkest, deepest hour in 2010, they hold on to it.
But Dr. Mohammed, I see the minimum wage is $20.50 January 1st. It's a good thing. So they should be able to pay the property tax.
That's a good one. Good one. But
yeah, but you know, when I look at I think bread and butter issues in Trinidad and Tobago. What is the story with the $600 million they spent on that university that never had a student in it? What's the story with it?
It is the next thing you will hear is a commission of inquiry into that as well.
Okay.
Because that was raised, I think, just the other day. It was just raised. I think Rudal again. I think it's Rudal Morinal that raised the issue about the DB campus.
Yeah, I'm to that campus.
The DB campus is in the hands of the University of the West Indies.
Okay. What about the $120 million loan to Nikon? And we haven't seen any benefits from Nikon as yet. Only things blowing up all the time. And
do you not know of NCB? Do you know of NCB, the bank?
NCB Global? That's the fellow who had to recuse himself. That's the fellow family who had to recuse himself from cabinet. That's his family.
Which one? Which anyone? The young one?
No, not the old fella, the young fella. Not the old one, the young one.
Yes, I believe they have gotten. There's a linkage. The most recent article I read has to do between.
Oh, them doing the investment banking? Is them doing the investment banking?
Correct.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
okay,
they are.
Okay. Look at that. Yeah, boy. Thing nice, boy. Thing's nice. You know, you gotta recuse himself again when something.
You see what power does? Power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely.
You know, you know, to be honest with you, when I look at what's going on in Trinidad, right, and I see what the people are getting for governance in Trinidad and Tobago, and they are just sitting by and taking it, and I'm asking myself, maybe there is something we're not seeing that they're seeing, or maybe there's something in the water that you're drinking. I don't know if you just drink the water, that water, Dr. Mohammed, but something or you might be drinking that we ain't getting up here. We just not getting. I mean, for the life of me, I can't understand it. When you have the minister in the Ministry of Finance telling people that we have one of the lowest property tax rate on the hemisphere. The hemisphere, you know, not North America or the Caribbean, but the man said the hemisphere, you know. And then
I
he
don't,
can't.
again, I'm going to defend the man. I'm going to defend him. Yes, you start the conversation by saying the man is my friend, but I'm going to defend him here. I don't understand what you wanted the man to say.
Don't say nothing. Don't say. If it was me, if
Where
it
did,
was me,
who asked him the question?
a fella from on CNC3. Well, no, he didn't ask him the question, he just throw it in there. And you know what them fellas just do, But listen, and I want them to know, you all are being fact checked, He just throw it in there. And it was even just a sentence, you know. But inquiring minds was listening. And when I listened to him, I said, wait. I said, Minister, boy, yeah, is a boss. Because I already done the research, with respect comparing Trinidad to the Caribbean as far as annual rental value, not assessed property value or market value. And he's telling me now, because we had a discussion today on social media, on Facebook, because he tell me I am telling on truth, right? And so far, he have not
Well, I
sent
saw that.
one iota of evidence to indicate that what I put was inaccurate. He sent me the Business Insider article, which totally debunked what he said. Totally. And I'm like, you in the Ministry of Finance, you have your fingertips, all them people there who could go and do research for you. Let them go and do a little research now, man, before you go out and talk. Yeah, you talk about the one with GDP and the resilience to climate change. You didn't hear that one?
I have a question. I have a question.
Yeah.
What make you think that he was not given that research?
No, the one with climate change and GDP, he was given that research.
And what is to tell you that what makes you think that he was not intentionally given the wrong information?
You know what? You know what? I could believe that. I could believe that. I could believe that. Because,
and you know why?
Yeah. No, I know why.
Why is it important? Why is it very important in the house of the Balize for certain individuals to, as much and as best as possible, look foolish,
bad,
or
look bad, yeah.
terribly discredited? Why is it? Whose agenda does it serve for these few good men?
The last name alone.
Listen.
Yeah, but Dr. Mohammed, listen to this, If I know that situation, that they're giving me information and there's possibility I get it wrong once, you ain't gonna fool me twice. The next time you give it to me.
Yes. No, yes. You have to fool me twice. No.
No. Well, then you deserve whatever you get then. Then you deserve whatever you get.
You have to play. You have to play. You have to play dumb. You have to play the game. Not when there are individuals that are. I'll answer. Let's go on. You have to look dumb, not when you have people looking for your seat.
Explain that to me. I ain't get it. You kind of you're going up in you up in the penthouse and they leave me down in the basement.
I know.
Bring up to the second floor. This is the second floor.
I know exactly what I did. I see a rock back. Like what?
Yeah, I bring them up to the second floor.
Yeah, there are individuals who are very good individuals within the PNM.
Okay.
who,
You know them
and I will
answer.
bring attention to, I'll bring attention to one in the UNC and a subtle statement that was made in today's Guardian. But let's go with this one. There is an effort, there is a concerted effort for that seat to go to someone else within the cabinet. And there's also
in San Fernando.
So therefore,
in San Fernando.
In San Fernando.
Okay, all right. I'm just trying to make sure I'm coming up to the penthouse with you. I'm going slowly, but I'm coming.
And therefore, anything that looks, smells, or acts like leadership must get cut down at every single opportunity.
All right, understood now? Okay. It's called internal sabotage.
We must suit our personal agendas as well as our own aspirations.
Political aspiration.
At any means. It's the Machiavellian way of, it's the Machiavellian concept, practice. You note, though, that in today's Guardian, a certain member of Parliament and the opposition, when asked about his wishes for the country in 2024, part of it talked about world peace. So he went down the foreign affairs perspective, and then he talked about, I believe it's in Malaysia, where in 2024, a 71-year-old leader will step down and move aside to give a smooth transition of power to his 51-year-old deputy prime minister. Did you read that?
No, we didn't read that.
And that's also a very subtle statement that has been made as it pertains to what is going on within the United National Congress. So, there's trouble in both waters.
I want to believe that the waters appears to be, well, no, I don't know. I don't have any evidence to show that the water is more muddy on one side as opposed to the other side. I don't have any.
Nah, you can't say that.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't have any evidence to show the water is more muddy in the PNM, but the water is more muddy in the UNC. I really have no. I don't have no facts. If I say that, I will be just speculation, pure speculation. And you know,
it is the same color water.
Yeah. Albert I want to know, do you mean San Fernando EC? That's what he said. Albert too bright. You know? Albert, nobody in call. We just say San Fernando, boy.
Oh Lord.
Oh God. You know. But you know, tonight was actually about a situation in Trinidad that is so important that I believe that the people who are going to be affected the most have been totally asleep at the wheel. To me, there should be some big property tax march across Trinidad and Tobago. I don't care whether you're PNM, DLP.
By whom?
Huh?
By whom? By
everybody.
whom?
Federation Park making noise already, so let them march too. Everybody march.
All them people. This is not a PNM.
Who is going to lead the march?
But all them fellas that will be fighting. This is for country, you know. This is not about party. Well, yeah, there is about party too. Because if you fight that property tax, you're making it PNM look bad. So,
oh no.
It's not. Listen, there's nobody. Nobody.
Yeah.
Nobody between now and Carnival.
So
we should just, between now and Carnival.
So we should just leave that property tax alone. Because people don't want to hear about it.
No. It is conversations like these that needs to be had more often in the public domain.
I agree.
And therefore I am saying I am saying that property tax, the concept of property tax as it presently exists to be implemented by the current administration is absolutely and completely flawed in every aspect of the concept.
Full 100.
And it is 100% unfair to every single citizen of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, regardless of race, status, earnings, you name it. This is one
thing. Dr. Mohammed, let's take this call. KFC, go ahead. KFC.
Good night, Mr. Dr. Mohammed. Good night, Diana.
Yeah. KFC, turn on your computer.
Mr. Washit.
Yeah, turn on your computer.
Mr. Washit.
Yeah.
People don't Federal Park down there. Then making a house at a storm. And the plane have antennas to crowd. They're making a storm. Them paying that.
Yeah. Correct.
Yeah, man?
Yeah, we hear you. We hear you. Yeah, they're making no noise.
Yeah, so them making noise. Remember the PNM? The PNM don't have them. PNM have them with the one them. So they go out and go out and march and make a protest and stand up for the right thing.
Correct is right. Yep. Full 100.
Yeah, like the young fella there, man.
Yeah.
Political,
Yeah, man. That we resident. That we resident political analyst, you know. Political scientist, you know.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like you playing on one party, keeping a party.
KFC, like you wanted something, boy. KFC wanted something there, you know. This is your demand smiling KFC.
He opened a party and Anselm is going to be deputy political leader.
That's it. I say. They get rid of PEP and PEP, something political, I say. I'm bringing a new blood. They get rid of them thing, man.
Yeah, man.
KFC, are you ready?
Next where they go, we are vote for the Greens.
Yep.
And we're going on it. Yeah, man. Locked on.
Yeah, man. Bless.
Well, shoot. I don't know can wrap up your snow.
Yeah, man. Okay, cool.
Bye-bye, man. Bye-bye.
Yo, man, take it easy, man. Be cool. Hey, Dr. Mohammed, that man make you out from far away.
Listen, I didn't say anything, you know. Watch me. That's why I asked the man, is he ready?
But just imagine, he ain't saying nothing, but he fella make you out from so far. He said, I fella ready to start a party. Nah, but you know, it is Patricia, welcome. You know, it is important that these kind of discussions is discussions that needed to be had more often on radio in Trinidad and Tobago, regardless of what side of the political divide you are on. You understand?
You know, I will tell you this. Someone messaged me the other day about the property tax. And she asked me, you know, she said, you need to put in the public's domain your position in terms of property tax. And I said, I will wait for the appropriate time to be asked the question. And then I will put it in the public's domain, what is my position on property tax. She's like, well, can you do that soon rather than later? And then you asked me to come on today. And I have not been asked the question in terms of by a local news station about what is my position from a political perspective either. Because you see, and I said this to another journalist, property tax has an economic, a socio-economic and political ricochet and effect. And we cannot only be speaking to economists about the issues that touch and concern property tax, because this is not only about economics. This is also very much about the politics and the social political aspect of it. And we are in a scenario where, good night, Albert. You know, it is we are at the juncture and the point where we have to. I have to make take a stance in terms of it is not in the best interest of the people. It is unfair to them. And you know, I'm looking on this morning. I was looking on to what is happening to Argentina with all of the decisions that are being made in Argentina by a president that has been elected only 2 weeks ago, and there's already trade unions taken to the streets of Buenos Aires to protest against certain measures that are put in place to kind of generate economic growth and some sort of positive economic static. But it touches and concerns the welfare of the working class and worker rights in Argentina. So, you know, I'm saying all of that to say that unless there's somebody who is prepared to get up and seriously put a charge towards a protest, we have lost the culture of protesting in Trinidad and Tobago. That's what it comes down to.
It's not
And
lost it.
lost,
They're fearful, Dr. Mohammed. They put so much fear
fearful
in the
of what?
people. What do you mean?
Fearful
Fear
of
of
what? We're not going to press
reprisal.
people. There's no fear of reprisal whatsoever. Who's going to reprise? The government? Then their government is just confirming that they're dictatorial or authoritarian, as the case may be.
People are scared. They're scared they lose their work.
A confirmation.
And
But
it's so
you
small
see,
a society.
again, it comes down to, but Stephen Cadiz was one of those persons back in the day who led a protest when he did the march against when our murder rate had hit 137. Stephen Cadiz he came out of that movement, right? So, you know, same to you, Rose. At the end of the day, there are certain behaviors that are evolving within our society that people are going to talk, but they're not going to protest. And not because they have not protested means that they are not pleased. It seems as though to protest is equivalent. The only way to show that we are upset or displeased about something is to protest. And I am saying that the new generation of voters in the country are not about that life. They are going to simply not vote, or they're simply going to be where possible, pick up themselves and leave the joint. That's it.
Not voting is a form of protest.
Correct. But it's not, I'm not saying that, and not voting is not the right form of protest, because you're very right about that, Abby. 100% agree with you on that. And that is because they themselves they're too distracted by what is going on within their own party to be able to be a formidable force against the People's National Movement. So, you know, if the culture of protest is quickly becoming a thing of the past in Trinidad and Tobago, then we have to be mindful as to what then, therefore, is the new norm. And the new norm is what we're doing here, having discussions and conversations that is going to shape people's minds in terms of inform their thinking and what they should consider is their next move going forward. And, you know, because again, you have to take into consideration the leadership of the PNM and the leadership of the UNC, while very similar, are also very different. We are also dealing with two leaders, one of who is physically stronger than the other, and whose mind is physically stronger than the other as well. Dr. Rowley, you know, he has a certain level of fight in him still. And he also could very well up against Mrs. Prasad Visasa win the 2025 general election. That's the scared, that is a very, 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 very stark reality, that there is a very great possibility of the People's National Movement retaining government in 2025.
That's kind of scary, though, to be honest with you. I ain't gonna lie.
Of course it is.
But let's go for a quick break. Second state. Folks, we are at the top of the hour. We have with us tonight the political scientist, Dr. Shane Mohammed, who is no stranger to individuals with the DAT Triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM. So Rose, Abby, Albert Montano, Takesha, if you're still there, Patricia Hutchinson, put closing comments in chat. So folks, Caribbean Soul, if you're still there, Troy Smith, if you're still there, Captain Singh, Rose, Takesha, if you're still there, put closing comments in chat. We're going to go for a quick station identification and be right back after this. We have with us tonight, no stranger to individuals with the DAT Triplets, a person who has been here many times, Dr. Shane Mohammed. We'll be right back after this.
You're listening to WZYE 95.9 FM. You are listening to WZYE 95.9 FM, the most influential name in Caribbean radio in the tri-state area. Broadcasting from East Orange, New Jersey, the most influential name in Caribbean radio. WZYE 95.9 FM.
This is oh Lord, Trinidad and Tobago. This is DJ Bravo. I'm hurting it up. This is a sad place. My country turned into a sad place. When I look around, it's only sad face. Our country turned into a sad place. All I see in front of me, nightmares turn into reality. Like somebody build a monster factory. Parliament up against parliament economy. But let the moderators in another body in a dream. Somebody girl child missing, another rape again. And next road stain with somebody's sunburn. Who take the F out of Port of Spain. This is a sad place.
And of course, we are back with you. It's individuals to the DAT Triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM. We come to you every Tuesday and Thursday from 7 to 10 p.m. We have with us tonight political scientist Dr. Shane Mohammed, who is no stranger to in the village with the DAT Triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM. And of course, we had an in-depth discussion regarding property tax. Yeah? And hopefully, let me take this call. Hold on a minute. Yeah, KFC.
Yeah, the political answer say if we're ready. I mean, if we're ready, we need young people to run the country. Get them old dinosaurs and them and them young political minds and them have bright ideas.
You hear that, Dr. Mohammed? You hear what the man said?
And take a rest now, man.
He's ready. He said he's ready to give you his vote.
Young to run this country. They run out of ideas.
Yeah, man.
I hear you. I hear you, KFC. I hear you.
See what people saying is that we have the same things. We getting the same things over and over and over and over and over. And they ain't coming with no new ideas. None, zero. I mean, for the last 8 years, what innovative idea? I'm asking you this question now, because you on the ground. You're not just on the ground, but you're in the educational ground too as well. What innovative ideas have we gotten out of the current government in the past 8 years?
I wouldn't say that we haven't gotten innovative ideas. What we lack and what exists, what is terrible about them is that they have 100 ideas, which are, out of the 100 ideas, we can find several that are good ideas. They have an implementation deficit. They have a communication deficit. They lack they have a relatability deficit. And if you have no perspective on how to relate to the realities that are facing people of the country, in addition to that, you lack the ability to effectively communicate your thoughts, your ideas, your policies to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. And your record of implementation is almost 0%, then you fail as an administration. They have no ideas as in terms of, I mean, Imbert would have put forward, not Imbert, sorry, Kazim Hussein would have put forward fantastic policies, intended policies or ideas for the agriculture sector. Unfortunately, the man is more passionate about his job as than the whole of the government. And it takes an all-of-government approach to be able to propel a minister and a sector into the vision that the minister sees. And unfortunately, you can give 100. By looking at the budget allocations for 2023, 2024, you could see that money has been allocated to agriculture and the agriculture sector. There's an implementation deficit. There is a lack of enthusiasm as to how to get the job done. You have ministers that are populists, that are so caught up in the need to maintain a certain level of relevance that they use it through popularity. And one of that is the Minister of Health, who is the most disingenuous, most hypocritical individual I would ever see in the
who talking about birth rate? The one who talking about birth rate?
The one who's talking about birth rate.
That
right? That fella. I don't know if he doesn't realize that we have a driven, young, academically inclined, intellectual society that is focused on building a career and having somewhere to a means by which to live and fulfill personal dreams rather than just simply procreate. We are not rats living in a lab where we can just simply, or rabbits where we can just simply just focus on procreating. And on top of that, if we are procreating, we should be able to have a solid future to look upon to raise that generation of children. And unfortunately, his administration in the last 8 years has done absolutely nothing to propel a prosperous future for the current generation and the one behind to procreate, to increase the population of Trinidad and Tobago. So forgive me if I'm agitated by the very thought of his conversation on mortality.
The penny's going to do it for all the man.
No, I could simply say that his conversation on mortality and the birth rate is only it's only evident of his impotency that exists in his brain.
Oh, you hit him. Oh, he got hit low below the belt there. Whoa. Easy, Dr. Mohammed. You heard that, Hanslam? You heard the word he uses, impotency regarding fertility.
I listened to that fella, and I don't know. I don't know if he was in a rum shop when he was talking that what he talked there, but
the Venezuelans gonna bring up the birth rate. Trust me.
I said something wrong.
You see, I always say that we must be very careful because these fellas are so thin-skinned that you wouldn't believe the depth. Anselm, you don't understand, and I do very clearly. But there's a certain depth. And when I say depth, I mean get under your skin, blood boiling depth of what you just said. That will resonate with that individual, especially when you talked about where he was or could have been when he made that statement. That's also, you watch me. If he's listening, or anybody who knows him is listening to this show tonight and heard that statement, he would probably need to go and sit down in a rum shop.
The Venezuelans are going to bring up the birth rate.
Well, you know.
And when you're born in Trinidad, you're Trinidadian, right?
Yeah, I mean, I gotta.
Better mind your parents from somewhere else, right? Okay, the Venis are going to bring up the birth rate. They're gonna make a lot of anchor babies.
But listen.
Not even.
Yeah, listen. It's always a pleasure when we get Dr. Mohammed to come into the village and we always have these splendiferous discussions, and we put a lot of things on the table. And tonight, we actually put property tax on the table, and we kind of we spell out a lot of things about property tax that I personally don't hear on radio stations in Trinidad and Tobago. I mean, when you listen to even Dr. Mohammed friend, Brian Manning, and talking about property tax, it seemed like if he learned property tax in Piccadilly Government Secondary School. You know what I mean?
Hey,
I don't mean,
hey,
I don't
why
mean,
you picking? Why you picking on
I don't mean to
Manning's
pick on
son?
Piccadilly or Calvary Roman Catholic School, the school that I went to.
Anselm, why are you picking on Manning's son?
No, I'm picking on him. He
Yeah,
picked
you
on
are.
he called he answered my post this morning big and bad. But anyway, let me don't get to that. Anyhow, Dr. Mohammed, I want to thank you so much for joining us. Any closing comments before you go?
Yes, my closing comments is there have been several calls. I mean, tonight we've heard it. Abby said it. KFC said it. Rose has said it. We cannot lose hope. And hope is what gives us the essence and drive to get up every morning and to persevere and to do our best to provide for ourselves and our families the best possible life that we could possibly give in the circumstances and with the resources, whether limited or plentiful, that we have, so that we could look forward to a new day and another day. We are, as DJ Bravo did say, we are in a sad state of affairs. But even in the midst of that sad state of affairs, there are a few good men and women that do exist in the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago who can come together to work towards a better future. That time is not now. That time will come. And a great man said, a day in politics is a lifetime. And another great man said, time is longer than twine. Therefore, I will say to everybody, even as sad as it may be, even in the depths of our anxiety and of despair and what may seem to be hopelessness, I will say to the people of Trinidad and Tobago and to the wider diaspora that we must never lose hope. Hope is what gave us change in 1986. Hope is what gave us change in 1995, then in 2000. Hope is what made us form the COP in 2006. Hope is what gave us the partnership in 2010. Keep hope alive, because 2025 is still a long way from now. And therefore, there is much to be done and also much to look forward to. Yes, obviously, it may not appear to be so in the realities that we face, because we are a people that have been cheated by this administration and the one before it. And the two parties do stand guilty of cheating the people of Trinidad and Tobago of the best of Trinidad and Tobago. And one prime minister benefited from having the highest oil prices in the history of prime ministers in Trinidad and Tobago, and failed to achieve a second term in office, and also failed to achieve a second chance at prime ministership in 2020. And the current prime minister promised a lot of us and a lot of the of Trinbagonians that he could have done it better, and he could have done this differently. And we have now seen with our eyes and felt it with our pockets and experienced it by our caging of ourselves in our homes that he is unable to take us forward. So don't lose hope. Something will come. It will come at the right time, and when people are really and truly ready to make that step forward. But for 2024, I do wish all of you all a level of peacefulness, a level of hopefulness, and a semblance of prosperity of mind, body, and spirit that will take you through what is to come.
Dr. Mohammed, thank you very kindly. You could not have said it more splendiferously, my friend. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr.
Thank you so
Mohammed.
much.
Happy holidays to you and your
Thank you.
family too as well.
Happy New
You
Year.
too as well.
All right, bye-bye. Take care.
Mm.
Couldn't have said it any better. Could not have said it any better. My closing comment is simple. Don't let small minds convince you that your dreams are too big. Don't let small minds convince you that your dreams are too big. From where I said this is it, the clock on the wall said that's all I like to stay, but I got to go. Remember, hard work beats talent when talent does not work hard. And for every 60 seconds of anger, you lose 1 minute of happiness. And remember, your circumstances may determine who you are, but you are responsible for who you become. Go ahead, Diana.
I'm going to close tonight with 3 quotes. The first one is, it is easy to dodge your responsibility, but you cannot dodge the consequences of dodging your responsibility. Josiah Stamp. There may be times when we are powerless to prevent injustice, but there must never be a time when we fail to protest. Elie Wiesel. You never change things by fighting the existing reality. To change something, build a new model that makes the existing model obsolete. This is Diana Benskin, your award-winning poet, journalist, all kinds of stuff. I want to wish you all a happy new year and thank you for continued subscription and tuning in to WZYE on a continual basis. We do appreciate your support. Wish you, I want to compound what the wishes that Dr. Mohammed has issued to you all, has said. I compound them by 1,000,000%. And we'll see you in the new year. Thanks for your continued support. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Auf Wiedersehen till we meet again. Good night, beloved people. Stay safe.
Thank you, Diana. And happy holidays to each and every one too. Hailey, she didn't run the laps yet. She had a practice a little.
Hailey.
Rose says, good night, Diana. Happy holidays. Do enjoy the rest and be safe. Abby says, answer my closing comment. Try and pause before you start criticizing others. Everyone is fighting their own unique war. Thank you very much, Abby. Let's see if there's any more here. Rose says,
Captain Singh, Shane contribute to the low birth rate. Captain Singh.
Good night, Ansem. Compliment to you. I tried calling you on Christmas Day, but I did not get through to you. Enjoy the rest of the holidays and be safe. Thank you, Rose. I think that is it. Albert Montano said his wife just baked some small sweet bread, like what we call rock. Albert, small rock. What are you talking about?
Rock cake.
Rock cake and small sweet bread is different thing.
They're small and hard. They call them coconut drop.
They're small and what?
They're small and hard.
Okay.
Like some other things I know.
Okay.
Is that it?
Okay, hold on. One more comment here. Let me see who's this here. Happy New Year to you, Captain Singh. Yeah? So, folks, we are out of here. Rock is the best. Trinidad Margo, welcome. Rock is the best. Yeah. So, folks, we are out of here. See you. Right? Same time, same place. Later. We are out of here. Bye-bye.
This is oh Lord, Trinidad and Tobago. This is DJ Bravo. I'm hurting you know. This is a sad place. My country turned into a sad place. When I look around, it's only sad face. Our country turned into a sad place. All I see in front of me, Nightmares turn into reality. Like somebody build a monster factory. Parliament up against parliament economy. But let the moderator send another body in a dream. Somebody girl child missing, another rape again. And next road stain with somebody sunburn. Who take the F out of Port of Spain? This is a sad place. My country turn into a sad place. When I look around, it's only sad face. Our country turn into a sad place. Now with the love, with the vibes, with the hope. Now tell me something, how we really want we cope. When the children breathing in too much gun smoke. And the Coast Guard can never see a boat. You're someone like some goats when they come looking for votes. Sit to empty promises, reading like a horoscope. Justice for sale in a fat envelope. Politically, all the answers is a joke. This is a sad place. My country turned into a sad place. When I look around, it's only sad face. Our country turned into a sad place. All I see in front of me, nightmares turn into reality. Like somebody build a monster factory. Parliament up against parliament economy. But let the moderator send another body in a dream. Somebody girl child missing, another rape again. And next road stain with somebody sunburn. Who take the S out of Port of Spain? This is a sad place. My country turned into a sad place. When I look around, it's only sad face. Our country turned into a sad place. It doesn't matter the religion, the color, the creed, or the race. It's our responsibility to take care of our place. Champion!